Reborn in 1978, I resolved to do three things. First, voluntarily apply to support the development of China's Northwest. Second, stop playing the fool by waiting on my husband Gu Yujun's pregnant adopted sister Mo Xiaoya. Third, divorce Gu Yujun and part ways forever, never to meet again. He noticed my unusual quietness and indifference toward him defending Mo Xiaoya. Gu Yujun thought I'd become obedient after his punishment. Until he got injured on a mission and I coldly rejected his request for care. Only then did Gu Yujun realize everything had spiraled beyond his control. I've already made up my mind to leave him for good. Su Luo, your confinement period is over, you're free to come out now. The voice of Gu Yujun's guard snapped me out of my daze. Limping out of the confinement cell, the blinding sunlight made it impossible to keep my eyes open. Tears welled up reflexively as the emotionless voice of Gu Yujun's personal guard reached my ears. The general has a meeting today. He asked me to tell you to reflect on your mistakes when you get home and write an apology letter. He'll check it when he returns. I wiped the tears from my eyes and walked forward in silence. Gu Yujun's guard followed behind me, and I could sense the disdain in his eyes. As the general's wife who failed to win his favor. Even the guards took their cues to look down on me. 1. In my past life, I desperately chased after things that were never meant to be mine, exhausting every ounce of my strength, yet all I reaped was confinement, Gu Yujun's impatient scolding, his cold disdain, until depression drove me to take my own life. When I first married Gu Yujun, ours wasn't without affection. He'd buy me snacks, take me to movies, stroll with me hand in hand. Our love was the envy of everyone. But everything changed when Gu Yujun's adopted sister Mo Xiaoya came to him heavily pregnant. From the moment Mo Xiaoya arrived, I became invisible in Gu Yujun's eyes. She was always the first person he saw and thought about. He accompanied Mo Xiaoya shopping for baby supplies, took her to prenatal checkups, and spent all our savings on her. At first, I thought Gu Yujun only saw Mo Xiaoya as a sister, so I wholeheartedly helped him take care of her, until one day, I read Mo Xiaoya's diary. Brother Yujun, I love you, I know you love me too. Why can't we be together when we're so deeply in love? I'm afraid I'll blurt it out to the whole world. Brother Yujun, I truly can't live without you. The revelation hit me like a thunderbolt. I confronted Mo Xiaoya, demanding an explanation. To my shock, Mo Xiaoya showed no fear. It's exactly what you read, we're in love, but certain circumstances keep us apart. In a fit of rage, I slapped Mo Xiaoya across the face. Only for her to run to Gu Yujun and accuse me of assault. Gu Yujun shoved me violently to the ground, leaving me with a sprained ankle. Mo Xiaoya was rushed to the hospital due to pregnancy complications, and Gu Yujun stayed by her side for days without returning home. When I confronted him at the hospital, Mo Xiaoya cradled her swollen belly and smirked at me provocatively. I love Yujun, and Yujun loves me too. It's only because of societal norms that we can't be together. The only reason Brother Yujun married you is because we needed a cover. Let's be honest, you're just our fig leaf. I'd never met someone so shameless. Stunned and furious, I forced Gu Yujun to choose between me and Mo Xiaoya. Gu Yujun thought I was making a scene for no reason, rubbing his temples. He scolded me impatiently. He accused me of making mountains out of molehills, calling me petty and saying I had a filthy mind that couldn't tolerate others. He was just showing humanitarian care for his homeless, pregnant foster sister Mo Xiaoya, but I let my imagination run wild and accused them of having an improper relationship. Later, Mo Xiaoya falsely accused me of pushing her to harm her unborn child, and Gu Yujun once again chose to believe her over my explanations. He forced me to apologize to Mo Xiaoya, but I refused since I'd done nothing wrong. So Gu Yujun had the guards lock me in solitary confinement to reflect on my mistakes. In my past life, I was locked in solitary confinement for a week. After my release, Gu Yujun had the guards order me to write an apology letter, which I stubbornly refused. Gu Yujun deemed me incorrigible and threatened divorce, but I was madly in love with him. How could I ever bear to part ways? Under his coercion, I shamefully penned that apology letter to Mo Xiaoya. I thought compromise would bring peace, but I was being hopelessly naive. After giving birth, Mo Xiaoya continued living in the home I shared with Gu Yujun. While working full-time, I nursed her through postpartum confinement like a housemaid, yet she never showed an ounce of gratitude no matter what I did. She kept fabricating accusations to provoke me, and every single time Gu Yujun would take her side against me. The way he looked at me was like I was some incomprehensible monstrosity. The prolonged mental torment made me ill. Depression, I was consumed by anxiety. Yet unaware of my illness, Gu Yujin showed no care, leaving me to struggle alone, repeatedly contemplating death as an escape. Later, I became pregnant. I was overjoyed to discover a little life growing inside me, and I cherished my unborn child with the utmost care. 2. I thought Gu Yujin would rekindle our love because of the baby, but it was all just wishful thinking. After learning about my pregnancy, Mo Xiaoya devised a mutually destructive scheme to frame me, and in the end, I lost my baby. When I lost my child, Gu Yujin was by Mo Xiaoya's side, comforting her and her baby. Dragging my broken body past Mo Xiaoya's ward, I saw Gu Yujin peeling an apple for her, then cradling her child with soothing whispers. They looked like a picture-perfect family, their tenderness driving me to madness. In utter despair, I climbed to the hospital rooftop and ended my wretched existence with one final leap. Guided by memory, I trudged slowly toward the home I'd shared with Gu Yujin. Passing familiar faces along the way, everyone stopped to stare at me, their eyes filled with mockery and disgust. Thanks to Mo Xiaoya, the whole neighborhood now sees me as a vicious woman who can't tolerate her husband's sister. How could anyone be so heartless as to harm a pregnant woman? In my past life, I was utterly humiliated under the weight of their judgmental gazes. Having died once in this lifetime, I no longer care about anything. I swore to myself never to repeat the mistakes of my past life. I won't apologize to that shameless creature Mo Xiaoya. If Gu Yujin wants a divorce, so be it. I'm cutting these two disgusting creatures out of my life. Pushing open the courtyard gate and stepping onto the porch, the pregnant Mo Xiaoya heard the noise and came out to greet me. Taking one look at my disheveled and exhausted appearance, she covered her nose with visible disgust. Back so soon? How was solitary confinement treating you? Seeing that venomous creature again made my blood boil. Get lost? What, still acting tough after 7 days in confinement? Seems like you haven't learned your lesson. Listen up, Su Luo, this isn't over. Brother Yujin promised you'd give me a sincere apology, and I'm looking forward to it. The moment they were alone, Mo Xiaoya dropped all pretense of civility. I stopped and enunciated each word. Then you'd better wait patiently for that apology. After 7 days without bathing, I reeked. I boiled water, scrubbed clean, and changed clothes. I opened the chest, took all my savings along with the food and fabric ration coupons, and stepped out. Mo Xiaoya was basking in the courtyard sunlight and barked at me as I emerged. I'm starving, go buy groceries and cook immediately, and make sure to get plenty of pork and ribs. Ignoring her, I hurried through the gate and pedaled away on my flying pigeon bicycle straight to work. At my workstation, I quickly drafted an application letter and knocked on my supervisor's door. My supervisor was utterly shocked after reading my application. You're volunteering for the Northwest Development Program. This isn't child's play. The conditions there are extremely harsh, with a minimum 5-year commitment. Commander Gu would never approve of you going. This is my decision to make, not Gu Yujin's. When it comes to serving our nation, personal interests don't matter. My mind's made up. I'm devoting my life to the motherland. Seeing my determination, the supervisor accepted my application but kindly advised me to discuss it thoroughly with Gu Yujin at home. If I make up my mind, I'll be ready to set off in 2 weeks. Stepping out of the office, I let out a sigh with my stomach growling. Passing by a restaurant, I went in and exchanged ration coupons for a hearty meal. With my belly full, I strolled leisurely down the street, pondering what comes next. Signing up to leave here and support Western development was the first clear-headed decision I made after regaining consciousness. From now on, I won't foolishly cling to Gu Yujin like I did in my past life, nor will I endure humiliation to mindlessly take care of that vicious, shameless Mo Xiaoya for his sake. My application for the Northwest has been submitted. The next step is divorcing Gu Yujin. In my past life, Gu Yujin threatened to divorce me unless I apologized to Mo Xiaoya. Since history seems to be repeating itself today, I might as well go with the flow and end things with him first. I dragged my feet home just before sunset, only to hear Mo Xiaoya's muffled sobs the moment I stepped inside. Sis-in-law must despise me. She came home yelling at me to get out. Brother Yujin, please let me leave. I can't bear coming between you two. With tears streaming down her face, Mo Xiaoya made a show of leaving, only for Gu Yujin to hastily reach out and stop her. Without any restraint, Mo Xiaoya burrowed into his embrace. Disgusted by the revolting scene before me, I slammed the door shut with force. Startled, they both turned to look at me in unison. Gu Yujin pushed Mo Xiaoya away and glared at me darkly. Where have you been? Why didn't you make dinner? Brother Yujin, don't be so harsh on sister-in-law. It's understandable she skipped making dinner when she's upset. I can handle going hungry for a bit. Gu Yujin's expression darkened further at Emo Xiaoya's sickly sweet tone, barking orders like a tyrant. Get cooking. I bought the ingredients. Xiaoya wants braised pork and spare ribs, make both to nourish her. I was about to refuse until I saw the premium cuts Gu Yujin had purchased, instantly changing my mind as I headed to the kitchen. Watching my obedient compliance, a flicker of resentment flashed through Emo Xiaoya's eyes. In under an hour, I served the braised pork and spare ribs on the table. I even thoughtfully dished out rice for them. Both Gu Yujin and Emo Xiaoya were starving. As they sat down, Gu Yujin considerately placed 2 large spare ribs and a piece of braised pork into Emo Xiaoya's bowl, urging, "Eat up now. Don't let the baby go hungry." There I stood, completely ignored. He showed no intention of inviting me to join the meal. I couldn't help but smirk. My past self was truly beyond redemption and stupidity. To love Gu Yujin so devotedly while being treated like a servant, no wonder I died without regrets. As these thoughts crossed my mind, I stared coldly at Emo Xiaoya shoving a huge chunk of meat into her mouth. Her face had been brimming with satisfaction, but the moment the meat entered her mouth, she spat it out without even chewing. Ugh, this is unbearably salty. I dumped a whole packet of salt into the braised pork and rib soup I made for them. Won't kill them, but sure will make them miserable. Emo Xiaoya spat out the meat and frantically gulped the soup, trying to wash away the overwhelming saltiness, but the soup was just as disgustingly salty as the meat. She rushed into the kitchen with a choking sound, desperately searching for water to rinse her mouth. Across the table, Gu Yujin dipped his chopsticks into the sauce and cautiously tasted it. His face immediately twisted in disgust. "Su Luo, you never learn, do you?" I spread my hands innocently. What did I do? I cooked this meal in good faith, and you're still complaining. Fine, if you're not happy with it, make your own damn food from now on. 3. With those words, I turned and went upstairs to my room while chaos reigned downstairs for quite some time. Emo Xiaoya was crying as Gu Yujin comforted her. In my past life, hearing these things would have shattered my heart with unbearable grief, but now I turn a deaf ear to it all. Half an hour later, Gu Yujin pushed open the door with a stormy expression after calming Emo Xiaoya down. "Su Luo, go apologize to Xiaoya right now. And if I refuse," I met his gaze defiantly. "No apology means divorce. I mean what I say." "Fine, let's get divorced." I nodded with a smile. "We'll file for divorce right now." My immediate agreement made Gu Yujin stare at me like he'd seen a ghost. I barely glanced at him before signing the pre-prepared divorce papers and handing them over. "Here's the divorce papers. I've already signed them, now it's your turn." Gu Yujin snatched the divorce papers I'd prepared, his face dark with anger. After skimming through the document, he let out a cold laugh. "Su Luo, I'm warning you, you won't be able to handle the consequences once I sign this. Don't play hard to get with me. What's there to handle? It's just a divorce. We'll both survive without each other. If you're any kind of man, Gu Yujin, you'll sign it without another word." Veins bulged on Gu Yujin's forehead as he glared at me without signing. "Su Luo, you'll regret this." "Never." I thrust the pen toward him, trapped in a dilemma. Gu Yujin pressed his lips together, refusing the pen while I watched him with mocking eyes. "Gu Yujin, don't tell me you're actually reluctant to divorce me." Gu Yujin looked like he was about to explode. He grabbed my wrist and yanked me toward him. "Su Luo, my patience has limits. Apologize properly, and I'll let everything slide. Otherwise what? Lock me up again." "What's your excuse this time?" "That I oversalted the damn food." I smirked at Gu Yujin. "That flimsy excuse won't cut it for house arrest." "You." Gu Yujin seethed with rage, never having seen me this defiant before, but I truly did nothing wrong. He had no valid reason to detain me. Gu Yujin tightened his grip on my wrist. "Su Luo, how dare you refuse to admit your mistakes and still act righteous?" "Gu Yujin, how many times must I say it? I, Su Luo, have always acted with integrity. I never laid a finger on Emo Xiaoya. Then how did she fall? If it wasn't you, who else could it be?" I knew Gu Yujin would never believe me. Why bother explaining? I shook off his hand and snapped. "Enough talk, just sign the papers." Gu Yujin advanced on me through gritted teeth. "That's enough, Su Luo. You don't actually think I'd hesitate to sign, do you?" "I'd never presume that. I'm just done with this life. Let's stop torturing each other." Gu Yujin's eyes flashed with hurt as I stared at him coldly, demanding his signature with unyielding resolve. I simply gazed at him icily. This man I'd loved to the point of madness in my past life, for whom I'd sacrificed everything. No trace of affection remained in my eyes, only pure revulsion. Gu Yujin parted his lips at my resolute expression. But before he could speak, Mo Xiaoya's startled scream pierced through from outside. Gu Yujin threw the marriage report at me and stormed off without a word. I rushed after him only to see Mo Xiaoya leaning against Gu Yujin with a pained expression, whimpering, "Brother Yujin, my stomach hurts." This was Mo Xiaoya's go-to acting routine, a trick that never failed her. Worried sick, Gu Yujin immediately supported Mo Xiaoya while frantically asking what was wrong. He yelled at me again. "What are you standing there for? Come help me already." "What's that got to do with me?" "Gu Yujin, sign the divorce papers." I wordlessly held out the divorce documents and a pen to Gu Yujin. Gu Yujin looked at me with utter disbelief, roughly pushed my hand away, and carried Mo Xiaoya out the door in haste. I rushed to the doorway, only to see the disappointment on Mo Xiaoya's face. I didn't need to be told Mo Xiaoya's current state of mind was beyond words. Had she known Gu Yujin and I were discussing divorce in that room, she'd never have faked illness to summon him away. Pity she miscalculated this move, and my own frustration matched hers for failing to get Gu Yujin's signature. Neither Gu Yujin nor Mo Xiaoya returned that night. I lay on the bed fully clothed, contemplating my eventual departure. Then I gradually drifted into a dreamless sleep. To my astonishment, Gu Yujin had actually returned when I woke in the morning. He handed me the red bean bun with an uncharacteristic smile, his voice unusually gentle. "Here, eat it while it's still warm." I've always loved red bean buns. Gu Yujin used to buy them for me all the time, but ever since Mo Xiaoya came into the picture, those thoughtful gestures disappeared completely. Instead of taking the bun, I turned back to my room and retrieved last night's and signed divorce papers. "Sign these," I said flatly. "Then we can finalize everything." Gu Yujin stared at me in disbelief. "You, Su Luo, I've already compromised. What more do you want?" His voice turned sharp. "Don't push your luck." I stared blankly at Gu Yujin and said, "As a leader, you should practice what you preach. Since you initiated this divorce, have the decency to follow through. Don't make me lose respect for you." Gu Yujin was too proud. I knew provoking him like this would force his hand. To my surprise, I was wrong. Gu Yujin snatched the divorce papers from me and tore them to shreds in seconds. Panting heavily, he shot me a bloodshot glare before storming off in a rage. I rushed to the doorway trying to stop him, but was just a second too late. With his long legs, Gu Yujin was out the door and into his car in 3 quick strides. I simply couldn't understand why Gu Yujin refused to sign the divorce papers. If he's already replaced me with Mo Xiaoya in his heart, why won't he grant me this divorce? In my past life, Mo Xiaoya told me herself that Gu Yujin was using me as a smokescreen to hide their inappropriate relationship, so this is why Gu Yujin refused to get divorced. Gu Yujin didn't come home for quite some time afterward. Apparently he was away on assignment. With Gu Yujin gone, Mo Xiaoya surprisingly didn't show up to cause trouble either. 4. I enjoyed the peace, juggling work while sorting out household matters. Since I'm leaving and cutting ties with Gu Yujin, I'll make it a clean break. I shredded all our photos and gave away the sweaters I painstakingly knitted and shoes I made for him. Heading to the northwest, I couldn't take much. I gave most of my clothes to neighbors. Even the extra quilts, sheets, and bedding at home were given away. Packing up didn't take long. Just a few days and I'd cleared out most of the house. Gu Yujin still hadn't returned. Watching the dates on the calendar made me anxious. My departure for the northwest was drawing near. My divorce still wasn't settled, though I could go northwest without it. I truly wanted no further ties with Gu Yujin. A clean break means cutting all ties, completely and permanently. I was anxiously waiting when the military hospital called. Gu Yujin got injured. They notified me, as family, to come care for him. The call didn't make me the least bit nervous or worried. After all, Gu Yujin outlived me in our past life. I'm sure he'll be fine this time too. What does it matter to me even if he's dealing with something major? I'm done grieving over this man who betrayed my trust. When my supervisor heard Gu Yujin was injured, they immediately granted me leave to care for him at the hospital. Instead of going to the hospital, I started tracking Mo Xiaoya's whereabouts. After asking around, I finally got the news that Mo Xiaoya was actually staying in Gu Yujin's military dormitory. How well hidden indeed. I marveled at Gu Yujin's protective care for Mo Xiaoya. Did he make Mo stay in the barracks because he was afraid I'd give her a hard time? Since he's so reluctant to part with Mo Xiaoya, I won't play the villain here. Let her take care of Gu Yujin instead. I'm sure they're mutually attracted and will love my arrangement. I went to the military barracks to find Mo Xiaoya and informed her about Gu Yujin's injury, telling her to go to the hospital immediately to take care of him. After notifying Imo Xiaoya, I returned home without a care in the world. That evening, I cooked myself a meal and happily devoured 3 big bowls. I went out shopping every day over the next few days as my departure for the Northwest drew closer. The conditions there are harsh, so I need to stock up on more supplies. At the hospital, Gu Yujin remained unconscious for 3 straight days and nights. Imo Xiaoya sat by the bedside, carefully wiping Gu Yujin's face with a damp towel. She gazed at Gu Yujin's striking features, utterly mesmerized. Orphaned at 8 and adopted by the Gu family, Imo Xiaoya grew up with Gu Yujin and fell for him at first sight. Gu Yujin was impossibly handsome, no girl could resist his charm. Imo Xiaoya was especially smitten, clinging to him daily and dreaming of becoming his bride. As Imo Xiaoya grew older, her feelings for Gu Yujin became so obvious that they were noticed by the elders of the Gu family. Imo Xiaoya was hastily married off, and her married life was sheer misery. She dreamed daily of returning to Gu Yujin's side. When her husband eventually died, she finally had a reason to seek out Gu Yujin again. Gu Yujin treated her with great kindness, indulging her every whim, and Imo Xiaoya was utterly content. But this wasn't what Imo Xiaoya wanted. If only she could be the only woman by his side. Yet he was already married, and seeing his rightful wife beside him drove Imo Xiaoya mad with jealousy. How she longed to stand rightfully by Gu Yujin's side. Imo Xiaoya stared greedily at the unconscious Gu Yujin. This was the man she'd loved for years, yearning without fulfillment. The torment in her heart was unimaginable. The most intimate moment she'd shared with Gu Yujin was feigning dizziness to collapse into his arms while holding his hand. This wasn't what Imo Xiaoya truly desired. She'd always longed to take things further, like stealing a kiss on his cheek. Seizing the opportunity while Gu Yujin lay unconscious, she finally acted to soothe her lovesick heart. Lost in thought, Imo Xiaoya couldn't help but lower her head, leaning in to kiss Gu Yujin's cheek. Just as her lips brushed against his face, a sharp slap landed heavily on her cheek. The stinging blow snapped Imo Xiaoya out of her lovesick daze, leaving her cheek burning with pain. But more than the physical pain, what overwhelmed her was sheer terror. Her secret feelings for Gu Yujin were finally exposed and discovered by him. What should she do now? How could she possibly explain this? In panic, she turned toward Gu Yujin on the bed, but before she could see clearly, another stinging slap landed across her face. The slap landed even harder this time, sending Imo Xiaoya sprawling onto the floor, clutching her stinging cheek. She burned with humiliation, rage, and terror, her mind spiraling into utter panic. With her darkest thoughts laid bare, the excruciating shame made her unable to meet Gu Yujin's eyes. She braced for Gu Yujin's judgment after the truth came out, but only heard his broken whisper after an eternity, Su Luo, Luo Luo. To Imo Xiaoya's shock, Gu Yujin was murmuring Su Luo's name in his sleep. Struggling to her feet, she realized he remained unconscious. His eyes stayed shut as he thrashed wildly, mumbling deliriously, Luo Luo, don't leave, the baby. Those 2 slaps she'd taken earlier were just accidental hits from Gu Yujin's unconscious flailing. Imo Xiaoya's tension eased. Beads of sweat covered the unconscious man's forehead as he kept whispering Su Luo's name with closed eyes. Fuming with rage, Imo Xiaoya glared daggers at Gu Yujin. The door burst open as Gu Yujin's bodyguard rushed in. Seeing Gu Yujin's condition on the hospital bed, the guard immediately hit the emergency call button for the doctor. The doctor arrived promptly, and after a thorough examination, Gu Yujin finally opened his eyes. The first words upon waking were, Luo Luo, Su Luo. The doctor immediately responded, Sir, you're awake. You've been unconscious for days. You need rest now. Please stay calm. Where's Su Luo? Where is she? Gu Yujin's eyes darted around the room. The guard interjected, Madam is at home. Is she really at home? You're certain? Gu Yujin pressed, Nothing's happened. No, the madam is perfectly fine, Commander. Please don't worry. Gu Yujin exhaled sharply, his heart pounding as he pressed a hand to his chest, fighting down the surge of fear and panic. Get Su Luo here immediately. Tell her to come to the hospital at once. He needed to see Su Luo immediately. Only by seeing her alive and well could he set his mind at ease. After all, the nightmare he'd just had was utterly horrifying. He'd dreamed of Su Luo, pregnant, jumping to her death. The sight of her shattered body was so gruesome, so heart-wrenching it felt unbearable. 5. That dream felt so real, absolutely terrifying. Even battle-hardened Gu Yujin, who never flinched in danger, was thoroughly shaken. The guards came for me while I was cooking in the kitchen, humming a tune as I cooked. The guard barged in angrily and snapped, The general's awake. He wants to see you now. I glanced at the guard. What for? The commander's been unconscious for days. And you haven't visited him once. How could you be so heartless? I stared at the guard's flushed face. I'm not a doctor. What good would my visit do? Isn't it enough that someone's watching over him? But the commander specifically asked for you. No time. I haven't even eaten yet. The guard was fuming at my attitude and stormed off in a huff, telling me to wait as he left. Was that a threat? It's not like they can throw me in solitary again just for refusing medical treatment. Gu Yujin waited anxiously at the hospital for what felt like an eternity before the guard returned, but there was no one following behind, just the guard alone. Where's Su Luo? She refused to come, said she needed to cook dinner. How could this be? Gu Yujin couldn't believe Su Luo would ignore his injuries like this. Are you sure you explained it properly? I did. The moment you were injured, I went straight to her. I told her everything about your condition. Even got leave approval from her supervisor at work. But Madam never once visited the hospital. The guard felt wronged on his superior's behalf. How could such a caring man end up married to such a cold-hearted woman? This can't be right. There must be some mistake, Gu Yujin murmured. How could Su Luo not care about me? She loves me so much. She'd cry for hours over a minor scratch. Why is she indifferent after my long coma? What exactly went wrong? As he pondered, the guard added angrily. Madam must be resentful about her confinement. She's the one who acted unreasonably after making mistakes, yet has the nerve to sulk at you. Gu Yujin had just woken up and completely forgotten about confining Su Luo. The guard's reminder made his face darken with fury. In his dream, he'd also seen himself locking Su Luo away and threatening her with divorce. In the dream, Su Luo stubbornly refused the divorce and immediately apologized to Imo Xiaoya, but reality. Gu Yujin recalled the moment before his mission, Su Luo handing him the signed divorce papers to finalize. Her expression was icy, her gaze devoid of any affection. In the end, he frantically tore up the divorce papers and stormed out of their home. The thought of Su Luo wanting a divorce left Gu Yujin with a heavy heart. How could Su Luo possibly ask for a divorce from him? How could she bear to leave him? Leaning against the headboard with furrowed brows, he sank into deep thought. Losing track of time, a coquettish voice chimed in. Brother Yujin, are you thirsty? Have some water. Gu Yujin turned his head to see Imo Xiaoya, who had appeared out of nowhere. Imo Xiaoya was holding a glass of water, her face badly swollen, clearly from being struck. Gu Yujin was startled. What happened to your face? Imo Xiaoya touched her stinging cheek. Tears of injustice welling in her eyes. It was your wife who hit me. What? Gu Yujin raised his voice sharply. Why would she hit you? She said there was something improper between us. No matter how I explained, she wouldn't believe me. So she just. Gu Yujin's gaze lingered on Imo Xiaoya's face, staring at her motionlessly. Imo Xiaoya grew uneasy under his scrutiny. Why was Gu Yujin looking at her like that? Did he not believe her? The moment Gu Yujin saw Imo Xiaoya's face, fury surged. How could Su Luo lay hands on her? Didn't she know Imo Xiaoya was pregnant? How outrageous. In the midst of his anger, he suddenly recalled his dream where Su Luo kept bullying Imo Xiaoya repeatedly. He confronted Su Luo, but she kept denying it no matter what. The dream I just had felt so real, so horrifying. He remembered Su Luo's tearful pleas in the dream, remembered her utter despair. He remembered Su Luo confronting him angrily. What's really going on between you and Imo Xiaoya? Gu Yujin, who do you choose, me or her? He remembered Su Luo clutching his hand, pleading repeatedly. I didn't push her. She's framing me. I swear I didn't. He remembered Su Luo lying pale and desperate on the bed, tears streaming down her cheeks. My child, my baby, murderers, you're all murderers. The final image froze on Su Luo's motionless body lying on the ground, blood soaked through her clothes, surrounded by scattered flesh and severed limbs. Gu Yujin clutched his chest as heartache radiated through his body. Every fiber of his being was screaming in agony. He knew it was just a dream, but what a horrifying nightmare it had been. He couldn't bear to lose Su Luo. He knew all too well that he couldn't accept what happened in the dream. Imo Xiaoya had no idea what Gu Yujin was thinking as tears streamed down her face. Brother Yujin, your wife doesn't like me. I shouldn't disturb you anymore. I'll move out once you've recovered. This was Imo Xiaoya's ultimate trump card. Every time she played this card, Gu Yujin simply couldn't bear to let her go. She'd vent her anger on Su Luo, waiting for Gu Yujin to stand up for her. After what felt like an eternity, Gu Yujin finally spoke. Fine, move out then. I'll have security arrange housing for you immediately. From now on, take any issues to security, don't come to me. I won't have you upsetting your sister-in-law. Emo Xiaoya stood frozen in shock. I was about to head out for more shopping after dinner when Emo Xiaoya showed up at my door before I could leave. She looked haggard, a far cry from her plump, rosy-cheeked appearance in her previous life. No doubt it was due to worrying about Gu Yujin, but what on earth happened to her face? Both cheeks were swollen like steamed buns. Had someone hit her? I laughed at myself mockingly. Who dare lay a finger on Emo Xiaoya? 6. She's Gu Yujin's precious darling. Anyone who hurts her would get locked up until they rot. Emo Xiaoya glared at me venomously. Su Luo, are you happy now? I shot back irritably. Speak plainly, cut the passive-aggressive crap. They say still waters run deep, but I never expected you to be this cunning, playing the long game to pressure brother Yujin into making me move out. I've underestimated you. Emo Xiaoya's words shocked me. What do you mean? Gu Yujin told you to leave. How is that even possible, in my past life? I tried every trick in the book. Tantrums, emotional blackmail, even fake suicide attempts, yet Yujin never budged. Why would he make this decision now when I haven't lifted a finger? Emo Xiaoya is a vile, shameless creature. Don't believe a word she says. I stared coldly at her. You came all this way just to say that. What else, you poisonous witch? Listen well, I won't move out so easily. Brother Yujin is mine, and no one's taking him away from me. I felt physically sick hearing this. Nobody wants your precious brother Yujin. Take Gu Yujin if you want him, he's worthless to me. You're such a hypocrite, playing hard to get. Emo Xiaoya glared at me furiously. Emo Xiaoya was genuinely furious. Her tried-and-true tactics had backfired spectacularly today, and she couldn't contain her rage. She couldn't fathom how things had spiraled out of control when Gu Yujin had always been putty in her hands. Her methods had never failed before. Why did one injury turn Gu Yujin into a completely different person? Emo Xiaoya couldn't fathom the reason for Gu Yujin's change of heart, so she pinned everything on Su Luo. It must be Su Luo's strategic divorce proposal that softened Gu Yujin's resolve. Do you really think brother Yujin can't bear to part with you? Dead wrong. He's about to get promoted and just wants to avoid complications during this critical time. Watching Emo Xiaoya's flustered outburst, I couldn't help but wonder, what on earth set her off like this? After bending over backwards to accommodate them, why is Emo Xiaoya still acting like I owe her something? I know exactly what Emo Xiaoya is scheming for. With her vicious, shameless cunning, having her help with my divorce would be twice as effective with half the effort. The thought crossed my mind as I shrugged. Oh really, so you're content being a nobody for life? Don't you think people should aim higher? I looked at Emo Xiaoya's contorted face and smirked. How about this? I'll divorce him and step aside for you and your beloved Yujin. You just make sure he signs the divorce papers for me. Emo Xiaoya stared at me in shock. You're serious? This isn't some trick to set me up. Of course, Emo Xiaoya left with the divorce papers I gave her. Given her capabilities, I was confident she could get Gu Yujin to sign them. Now all I had to do was wait patiently for news. Not long after Emo Xiaoya departed, Gu Yujin's guard showed up again. His face darkened. The organization orders you to attend to the general at the hospital. That's a direct command. Gu Yujin's bodyguard looked ready to get physical if I refused. Not wanting to pick a losing battle, I reluctantly followed the guard to the hospital. There lay Gu Yujin receiving in-4 drip, who actually reached for my hand when I entered. I subtly stepped back and asked with polite detachment, "How are you feeling? Any pain?" Gu Yujin's smile faded at my formal tone, his gaze locking onto me without blinking. I stood quietly a meter away, meeting his stare without flinching. After a prolonged silence, Gu Yujin motioned for the guards to leave. Only after the guard closed the door and left did he speak slowly. I've already asked Xiao Zhang to find an apartment for Xiaoya. She'll be moving out soon, I responded with a blank "oh," which seemed to irritate Gu Yujin even more. About what happened to Xiaoya last time, I cut him off. Don't even think about getting an apology from me, Gu Yujin. You've already locked me up for 7 days. What more do you want? Let me tell you, even a cornered rat will fight back. No, I just want to know what really happened back then. Why did you push her? I don't know why Gu Yujin is bringing this up again. I've explained it to him before, but he didn't believe a word I said. After locking me up for 7 days, now he's digging up old grievances. What's the point? Still trying to stand up for Emo Xiaoya. That's so like him, I snapped impatiently. I don't even know why I pushed her. Go ask Emo Xiaoya if you want details. Whatever she says goes. You've already locked me up for 7 days. Surely you're not planning to send me to prison now. Where's the justice in that? Gu Yujin's face showed a complicated mix of emotions. He looked both dejected and hurt. Su Luo, I'm injured here, is this really how you're going to treat me? I looked at him indifferently. Sorry for upsetting you. To avoid ruining your mood, I should probably leave now. Watching Su Luo walk away without a backward glance, Gu Yujin was so furious it triggered a coughing fit. The guard rushed in at the noise and immediately poured water for the coughing Gu Yujin. Grumbling with concern about Su Luo, what's gotten into madam, how could she treat you like this? Gu Yujin clutched his chest, feeling an overwhelming emptiness inside. Su Luo's attitude made him realize there was something seriously wrong between them. Gu Yujin racked his brains. When exactly had things grown so distant between him and Su Luo? Before Imo Xiaoya came to stay with him, they'd been deeply in love, but everything seemed to gradually change after her arrival. Su Luo keeps making scenes every other day. She and Imo Xiaoya have never gotten along. Imo Xiaoya's a homeless pregnant woman. Isn't it only right that he takes care of her? 7. Why is Su Luo being so unreasonable? How could Su Luo be vicious enough to push Imo Xiaoya? That can't be right. Su Luo has always been gentle and kind-hearted, with an impeccable reputation in the compound. She's never had conflicts with anyone. Why does she keep targeting Imo Xiaoya? Could it actually be Imo Xiaoya who's the problem? Gu Yujin couldn't help but recall that utterly terrifying dream again. He instructed guard Xiao Zhang, put the housing arrangements for Imo Xiaoya's relocation on hold for now. Go find her a place to stay near her registered residence instead. Xiao Zhang gasped. Imo Xiaoya's registered residence is over 1,000 kilometers away from us. How could you possibly take care of her from such a distance? She's an adult who can look after herself. I was overthinking it. Plenty of people manage work and childcare simultaneously. Why couldn't she? Besides, she's still young and will likely marry someday. Keeping her by my side indefinitely isn't practical. Mo Xiaoya froze mid-step at the hospital door, Gu Yujin's words ringing in her ears as she reached to push it open. Instead of entering, Mo Xiaoya turned and fled in panic. Mo Xiaoya stopped in her tracks when she reached a secluded spot with no one around, her face twisted into an utterly grotesque expression. Gu Yujin's demand for her to move out was already unbearable for Mo Xiaoya, but now it escalated to being sent back to her registered hometown. She'd gone through hell and high water just to cling to Gu Yujin's side. Wouldn't sending her back completely ruin her plans? She absolutely can't be sent away. Gu Yujin has already ordered the guards to handle this. Showing his firm determination to have her removed, she must find a way to deal with this. Mo Xiaoya paced anxiously in place. What should she do? What on earth should be done about this? The divorce papers Su Luo gave her were already crumpled from her tight grip. Forcing herself to calm down, Mo Xiaoya smoothed out Su Luo's divorce papers and read them again. A brilliant idea suddenly flashed through her mind. Fortune favors the bold, let's do this. Hours later, Mo Xiaoya pushed open the door to Gu Yujin's hospital room. With pitiful fragility, she approached the bedside and whispered, "Brother Yujin, I need to talk to you." Gu Yujin gave a curt hum, his demeanor noticeably colder than before. Mo Xiaoya caught the change, seething with resentment. Who knew what trick Su Luo had pulled to suddenly alter Gu Yujin's attitude? No matter, she'd already devised a countermeasure. Su Luo is done for this time. Putting on her most pitiful act, Mo Xiaoya said softly, "Brother Yujin, I think I should go back now." Go back? Gu Yujin looked at Mo Xiaoya in surprise. Back where? To my registered hometown. It's not right for me to keep troubling you like this. You have your own family to take care of, so I've decided to leave. Gu Yujin stared at Mo Xiaoya in surprise. He had just decided to send her away, but hadn't figured out how to break the news. Now that Mo Xiaoya volunteered to leave, it lifted a weight off his mind. Gu Yujin brightened. "It's good that you're going back. Just tell me what you need. I'll have everything prepared for you." Seeing Gu Yujin's visible relief only deepened the resentment in Mo Xiaoya's heart. Suppressing her resentment, she produced a prepared contract. "Brother Yujin, I'm planning to buy a house in my registered residence area, but I need a guarantor. Could you sign as my guarantor?" Gu Yujin agreed without hesitation. "No problem at all." Mo Xiaoya immediately spread out the documents. Flipping to the signature page for Gu Yujin to sign and fingerprint, Gu Yujin merely skimmed the first page's contents before signing. Mo Xiaoya tucked away the documents with a gentle smile. "I won't disturb your recovery any longer, Brother Yujin. I'll head back to prepare. We'll be leaving in a few days." Touched by her thoughtfulness, Gu Yujin felt a pang of guilt. "No rush," he said. "Take your time packing. Let me know if you need anything." Mo Xiaoya obediently left. But the moment she stepped out of the ward, her face darkened with stormy resentment. Trying to get rid of her? Not that easy. Now it's her time to shine. I never expected Mo Xiaoya to act so swiftly. She obtained Gu Yujin's signed divorce papers in just a few hours. I immediately took the divorce papers to the military district for the commander's approval. The commander was shocked to see our divorce application and pressed for reasons. I simply said we'd grown apart. Everyone knew about Gu Yujin confining me, and the superior side before signing the approval, holding the approved divorce papers. I was overjoyed, only to run into Gu Yujin's guard, Xiao Zhang, right outside the military compound. Xiao Zhang shot me a sullen look before reluctantly greeting me. Too elated to mind his attitude, I simply flashed him a smile and walked past. Xiao Zhang stopped me. The general wants to taste your fish soup. No time for that, you, how could you? Xiao Zhang's eyebrows shot up in anger. Su Luo, don't you think you're being unreasonable? What kind of wife acts like this? What I do is none of your business. If your commander wants fish soup, go ask Mo Xiaoya, she'd be delighted. You're utterly unreasonable. How can anyone be this irrational? Xiao Zhang fumed. The commander has already compromised by sending Mo Xiaoya back to her hometown. Yet you're still picking fights. Do you even know he's been asking about you non-stop these days? You're neglecting him over petty jealousy. It's beyond unreasonable. Xiao Zhang's words shocked me. Was Gu Yujin really planning to send Mo Xiaoya away? No way. Mo Xiaoya would actually leave. She's already agreed, leaving in a few days. Happy now. Hurry back and make fish soup for the hospital. The general's waiting. I can't believe Mo Xiaoya would willingly leave. In my past life, she schemed relentlessly against me, made Gu Yujin distrust me, drove me to depression, killed my unborn child, and pushed me to suicide. Her feelings for Gu Yujin are so obvious. How could she possibly back down? My gut tells me Mo Xiaoya definitely has another trick up her sleeve. With only a few days left before my departure, I must stay vigilant against Mo Xiaoya's schemes. I've learned my lesson from past mistakes. To avoid unnecessary trouble, I've been steering clear of Mo Xiaoya these days to prevent any encounters. Yet Mo Xiaoya showed up at my doorstep the night before I was set to leave. She pounded on the door relentlessly, but I stayed silent and refused to open it, letting her wear herself out. With the courtyard gate deadbolt, Mo Xiaoya kept at it until 2 a.m. before finally giving up and leaving. 8. When I woke up and looked down from upstairs the next morning, there she was again, Mo Xiaoya with her swollen belly. Mo Xiaoya's been stalking me day and night. She's definitely up to no good. I was ready to walk away from this feud, but judging by Mo Xiaoya's behavior, she's not looking for a peaceful resolution. Fine, if that's how she wants to play it, I won't back down either. I still haven't settled the score for my child's death in our past life. With a cold smirk, I descended the stairs slowly, deliberately leaving a steel rebar at the turn. If Mo Xiaoya means no harm, then so be it. But if she dares frame me again, that'll be her end. After setting everything up, I slowly pulled open the courtyard gate. Right then, Mo Xiaoya came barging in headfirst. She slammed the door shut and blocked it, glaring at me venomously. Su Luo, did you really think keeping the door locked would stop me? I took a few steps back, eyeing her warily. What do you want from me? Trying to frame me again? Mo Xiaoya flashed a triumphant sneer. Why not? Listen here. Mo Xiaoya, don't you dare cross the line. I've already divorced Gu Yujin to make way for you too. Why are you still scheming against me? I raised my voice accusingly, only to meet Mo Xiaoya's hate-filled glare. You two-faced bitch, this whole divorce to set me and Yujin free act is just an excuse. Your real game was playing hard to get so brother Yujin would send me away, wasn't it? That's not. I genuinely wanted you two to be together. Liar, if you really wanted the divorce, why make Yujin deport me? You knew how much I love him, how I couldn't bear being apart. Yet you still tore us apart so viciously. Mark my words, Su Luo, you're dead. I'll make you pay for this. What are you going to do? I'm warning you. Mo Xiaoya, don't you dare pull any stunts. Last time you falsely accused me of pushing you, and Gu Yujin had me locked up. What more do you want now? I'm sending you straight to hell. You brought this on yourself, Su Luo. If you'd just minded your own business and stayed out of my relationship with Yujin, I might have let you live, but you actually dared to fight back. Since you're begging for death, I'll grant your wish. I'll make sure you suffer eternal damnation. With a vicious snarl, Mo Xiaoya lunged at me. The murderous look in her eyes sent me bolting upstairs in panic. Though her first attack missed, Mo Xiaoya didn't relent. Heavy with child, she still pursued me up the stairs. I turned and dashed up to the second floor, with Mo Xiaoya, heavily pregnant, chasing right behind me. Standing at the top of the stairs, I looked down at her and pleaded desperately, "Stay back. keep away from me, I'm warning you, Emo Xiaoya, don't you dare frame me, I'm begging you. Too late for begging, Su Luo, just die already. With a vicious grin, Emo Xiaoya climbed the stairs to grab my arm. The moment her fingers brushed my sleeve, I jerked my leg upward. I drove my foot viciously into Emo Xiaoya's stomach, her sneer twisted into shock as she tumbled backward, disbelief flashing across her face. I watched her roll down the stairs, those hate-filled eyes locked onto me the entire way, smirking down at her with cold amusement. I shrieked in feigned panic, "Someone help, Emo Xiaoya's fallen." Before my words even finished echoing, Emo Xiaoya had already tumbled down the stairs. A loud thud was followed by Emo Xiaoya's piercing scream, clutching her stomach. She stared up at me on the second floor in utter disbelief, with a smirk playing on my lips. I silently mouthed 3 words at Emo Xiaoya, "Drop dead." Emo Xiaoya looked down at her abdomen, only to let out a delayed scream upon seeing the steel rebar impaling her torso. Blood gushed from her wound, splattering in all directions. Her face contorted in agony as her hands clawed desperately at the air, grasping for something to hold on to. Finding nothing, her arms fell limp to her sides. I kept screaming in panic, "Someone help, there's been an accident." Emo Xiaoya was rushed to the hospital by people who arrived at the scene. The steel rebar stored downstairs had tragically pierced through her pregnant belly, and she lost the baby. To make matters worse, she had to undergo a hysterectomy due to severe hemorrhaging. After hours of emergency treatment, Emo Xiaoya was finally pulled back from the brink of death. The first thing she did upon regaining consciousness was to accuse me of pushing her and causing the death of her unborn child. The consequences were dire, especially since I'd pushed Emo Xiaoya before and had been confined as punishment. Everyone was convinced I'd pushed her, and Gu Yujun sent his guard Xiao Zhang to confront me first. I calmly went to meet Gu Yujun, who appeared furious. The moment he saw me, he demanded, "Su Luo, how could you do such a thing, through 2 lifetimes?" Gu Yujun never believed me regarding Emo Xiaoya's matter, never stood by my side. I wasn't angry at all, just icily questioned Gu Yujun, "So you've already convicted me, what's next?" Forcing a confession, extending my confinement. Gu Yujun, "By what right, do you think you own the courthouse?" My attitude only infuriated Gu Yujun more. "What's with that tone? Can't I even ask you a simple question?" "Absolutely not. You have no right. Do you have any idea I was already arranging her departure? She agreed to leave. How could you do this?" I'm utterly disappointed, convinced I pushed Emo Xiaoya. Gu Yujun attempted to extract a confession. "Su Luo, this situation with Emo Xiaoya is no trivial matter. We're talking about human life here. What you did constitutes intentional harm. This won't be resolved with simple detention. You'd better come clean with me so we can find a solution." If I'd trusted him, would I even be alive right now? I sneered. Her falling had nothing to do with me. I don't need to scheme with you, Gu Yujun. I know you're protecting Emo Xiaoya. With her baby dead and her fertility gone forever, you'd naturally want to find a scapegoat to make her feel better. And that sacrificial lamb is me, isn't it? Gu Yujun's face darkened to an extreme degree. Instead of lashing out at my sarcasm, he suppressed his rage and spoke in a deliberately measured tone. "That's not what happened. Tell me the truth, what really went down? Did you actually push Emo Xiaoya?" I flashed Gu Yujun a sinister grin. "Take a guess, I want to hear you say it yourself. Did you do this or not? Just assume I did." Gu Yujun's face froze. "What, you actually pushed her? Su Luo, why, that's exactly what I'd like to know too." I threw up my hands. "Emo Xiaoya keeps accusing me of bullying and targeting her. I've been racking my brains trying to figure out why I'd single her out when I don't mess with anyone else. Couldn't make sense of it until she finally told me the reason." "Want to hear it?" Gu Yujun remained silent, just staring at me. I chuckled. "She claims you two are lovers, that she's in love with you, and you're crazy about her. Says I'm just your convenient cover story. That's absolute nonsense." Gu Yujin's voice cracked with fury. After all this, he's still pretending. Just like in my past life, I was completely fooled by him until my dying breath when I finally saw the truth. I sneered. "Nonsense, I think not. As far as I know, she's not even blood related to you. It's downright bizarre how devoted you are to caring for someone with no family ties. What's even more peculiar is how you prioritize Emo Xiaoya over your own wife." Now that's food for thought. Gu Yujin's face cycled through a series of expressions. Yet he found himself utterly unable to counter my words. Ignoring Gu Yujin's grim expression, I continued, "Emo Xiaoya's word is gospel to you. While you dismiss everything I say, have you considered that your blind trust in her stems from guilt? You know your relationship with her is inappropriate, you're afraid I'll uncover the truth, afraid I'll make a scene, so you're preemptively silencing me. Veins bulged on Gu Yujin's forehead as he growled, I didn't, there's no point denying it now. I know you want revenge for Emo Xiaoya's condition, you want to punish me, well, I'm waiting for your move, Gu Yujin. I pushed Emo Xiaoya. I'm the reason she lost her child and her uterus, I admit it, so go ahead, have me arrested. With a smile on my face, I leaned closer to Gu Yujin and spoke to him in a low, deliberate whisper only he could hear. Gu Yujin was seething with rage, his breath coming in ragged gasps. I know he's utterly heartbroken for Emo Xiaoya right now. But who's going to show the same compassion for my child, who ever mourned for my innocent, tragic death in the past life? Watching the storm of emotions flicker across Gu Yujin's face, I swiftly stepped back the moment he raised his hand to grab me, then I casually tossed in one last jab, if you're even capable of it, I'll be waiting right here for you to catch me. With those words, I turned and strode away. Hearing a thunderous crash behind me, Gu Yujin must have smashed something in his fury. But that was no longer my concern. Passing Emo Xiaoya's room after leaving Gu Yujin's ward, I saw her gesticulating wildly from her bed in visible agitation. Several police officers stood by Emo Xiaoya's bedside, one of them taking notes. Emo Xiaoya was hysterical, screaming at the top of her lungs when she suddenly spotted me standing at the hospital room doorway. She shrieked, "The murderer Su Luo is right there at the door. Why aren't you arresting her? Why let her go? She's the one who pushed me, the evidence is irrefutable. Arrest Su Luo now before she escapes." The police turned to look at me, and I met their gaze with a faint smile, then I slowly walked into the hospital room under their watchful eyes. 9. Emo Xiaoya was absolutely furious. If she hadn't just had surgery and couldn't get out of bed, I'm certain she would have lunged at me, standing firmly in the center of the hospital room. I said earnestly, "Emo Xiaoya, you need proof for such accusations. If you claim I pushed you, where's your witness? I am the witness. If you can be the witness, then I can just as well say I never laid a finger on you. You're framing me deliberately. Why would I frame you? Why would I sacrifice my own child's life to set you up? I can't fathom your true motives, given how often you've wronged me before. But Emo Xiaoya, was it really worth slandering me at the cost of losing your child and your uterus?" Emo Xiaoya froze upon hearing this. Unaware of her hysterectomy, what did you just say? My face wore pitying sympathy, yet the words that came out cut like knives. I told you, your own wickedness didn't just kill your child, it destroyed you too. You can't even call yourself a whole woman anymore. No, that's impossible. How could this be? Emo Xiaoya refused to believe it. You're lying to me. Arrest the murderer. Why aren't you arresting Su Luo? She pushed me. She killed my baby. She's a murderer. I'll make her rot in jail. She'll pay for my child's life. The officers remained silent. I sighed. How can you still not get it? Your accusation that I pushed you is completely baseless, while I have witnesses proving you're framing me. Emo Xiaoya, you didn't realize when staging this whole act that there were other people in my apartment besides me, did you? What do you mean? Emo Xiaoya's voice cracked. I was afraid of living alone, so I invited colleagues over. Not just one, but two. They heard every word when you barged in threatening to frame me. Your scheme's been exposed. Emo Xiaoya stared at me wide-eyed as the officer sighed. So this was a false accusation. You do know filing false charges carries jail time, right? How could this be? Impossible. I wasn't. You've made your bed, now lie in it. I considerately voiced the words Emo Xiaoya wanted to say. Emo Xiaoya's eyes rolled back as she fainted. I had no time for Emo Xiaoya, after all. I had witnesses to prove my innocence while she was clearly framing me. Besides, why would someone like me who's already committed to supporting Western development have any reason to harm her? I've already divorced Gu Yujin, cut ties cleanly without looking back. What possible motive could I have to go after Emo Xiaoya? The next morning I boarded the westbound train. As it pulled out of the station, I watched the passing scenery through the window, basked in the golden sunlight, and smiled a genuinely contented smile. Gu Yujin only learned about my departure 2 days later. He chased me to my workplace, where my supervisor informed him I'd already submitted my application to support the Northwest region. Besides, he's just my ex-husband. What right does he have to know about my affairs? Gu Yujin was completely unaware of our divorce proceedings, so he went to question my supervisor. When the supervisor showed him the signed application, Gu Yujin was stunned to see his own signature. He was certain he'd never signed divorce papers. So what was going on? Gu Yujin suddenly remembered the documents he'd signed for Emo Xiaoya at the hospital. Could it be Furious, he stormed to the hospital to confront Emo Xiaoya. Emo Xiaoya admitted it, saying the divorce was my idea. She just went along with it. She clung to Gu Yujin. You're all I have left now that Su Luo's gone. Let's make this work between us. Gu Yujin shoved Mo Xiaoya away. Have you lost your mind? I have, and it's all because of you. You owe me this. Mo Xiaoya finally revealed her true colors. She demanded Gu Yujin marry her, threatening to report his improper conduct to military authorities otherwise. Gu Yujin never expected Mo Xiaoya to be this kind of person. He finally saw her true colors. The truth dawned on him. He'd been deceived by Mo Xiaoya all along, and wronged me in the process. But now Gu Yujin was caught between a rock and a hard place. On one side was his future, on the other stood Mo Xiaoya, someone he utterly despised. Under Mo Xiaoya's coercion, Gu Yujin finally confessed to his superiors. Valuing Gu Yujin's talents, the superiors decided to hush up the matter. But Mo Xiaoya went berserk, unwilling to walk away empty-handed after all this. She made a scene everywhere, spreading scandalous rumors about Gu Yujin. That was how Gu Yujin got discharged from the military and was sent back home. I heard news about Gu Yujin and Mo Xiaoya again during my 3rd year in the Northwest. Someone who knew us well was also assigned to the Northwest, and she told me about Gu Yujin and Mo Xiaoya. They're both dead. I was stunned. How could this happen? After Gu Yujin was sent home, Mo Xiaoya followed him to the Gu residence and made a scene. Driven to distraction, Gu Yujin eventually strangled Mo Xiaoya, then took his own life. This was an ending I never anticipated. No grief, no schadenfreude. For someone I've already let go, I wouldn't spare a single thought. Story 2, Pei Yu and I were reborn together. In my past life, I groomed him from an intern to a top celebrity, only for him to scheme and deliver me to a director's bed. That very night, I jumped from the high-rise. When I opened my eyes again, I'd returned to the day I became his agent. This time, I tore up his contract and signed an unknown rookie instead. With top-tier resources at my disposal, who couldn't I make famous? 1. At the signing ceremony, I pointed at the quiet, reserved Shenling in the corner. Him. In my past life, I wholeheartedly chose Pei Yu without hesitation. Little did I know I'd picked an ungrateful wretch. He shamelessly exploited the resources I provided while cozying up to my rival Yi Susu. Drunk one night, he lashed out at me, blaming me for ruining his chance to be with his true love. This time I'll just watch and see if he can still take off without me. Pei Yu's eyes held their usual arrogant disdain. Just as I remembered, when he heard I was signing Shenling, he merely furrowed his brows briefly before regaining composure. He's always been self-assured, adept at leveraging his strengths and reading situations. Noticing my gaze, he met my eyes with an easy confidence, a hint of unspoken challenge in his look. The next instant, I heard him declare, "Ms. Yi is the agent I admire. I choose her." There were 3 agents present, aside from me as the veteran. The other 2 had just 1 year of experience. One of them was Yi Susu. When it comes to resources and connections, no one here can match me. Anyone with half a brain and ambition would know which side to choose, but Pei Yu's gaze remained resolute. Without waiting for the boss to speak, he walked straight to Yi Susu's side. In that instant, I knew with certainty, he had been reborn too. In his past life, after winning Best Actor, Pei Yu didn't thank anyone. Instead, he spoke of his deepest regret. He admitted he shouldn't have abandoned the love of his life for fleeting fame and fortune. That person was Yi Susu, yet in that lifetime, he never reconnected with her, knowing Yi Susu only through their high school memories, so he didn't realize that beneath Yi Susu's glamorous facade lay a ticking time bomb, the kind that could blow up any second. 2. Seeing my resolve, the boss assigned Pei Yu to assist Yi Susu. Though Yi Susu's still naive about the world and trying hard to contain herself, I could instantly spot her delight. Well, Pei Yu is currently the rising star among the newcomers, so her excitement is understandable. After finalizing the contract details, Shenling and I stepped into the elevator together. Pei Yu and Yi Susu followed closely behind. He cast a disdainful glance at Shenling before fixing his gaze on me. "I'll prove it to you." The random remark made both Yi Susu and Shenling turn to look at him, yet his eyes were fixed on me. "Sister Song Mian, everyone says you're amazing, destined to mentor future stars, but..." He paused deliberately. "A craftsman must first sharpen his tools. Yours don't seem particularly well chosen. Look, he still believes he reached those heights in his past life solely by his own merit." I smiled and was about to speak when Shenling, who had been silent all along, finally said leisurely, "No need to envy me. While you may be Sister Mianmian's best choice, I'm not half bad either, you, Peiyu sneered with utter contempt. Very well, we'll see about that. He carried himself with the air of certain victory, barely giving Shenling a second glance. He seemed to have forgotten how, in their past life, Shenling had rapidly grown into his most formidable rival. Most crucially, every resource Shenling possessed was what Peiyu had discarded. Let's see if Peiyu can still reach the same heights in this life after swapping resources between them. 3. I spent days compiling a chronological list of all the top-tier opportunities from my previous life. In his past life, Peiyu's breakthrough role was as the second male lead in the Chang'an Visitor, which earned him a Best Newcomer nomination and laid the foundation for his future success. Now my goal is to secure that same supporting role for Shenling. I went straight to Shenling with the script in hand. I'd prepared a whole speech, worried he might refuse. To my surprise, Shenling's eyes lit up when he finished reading. We ran into Peiyu on audition day. He frowned at us. You're here to audition for the male lead's rival too? Me, yeah, Peiyu chuckled. Too bad, the auditions for that role just wrapped up. Song Mian, why don't you try for the third male lead instead? The third male lead was a thoroughly unlikable character. What's more, there were quite a few scenes with the second male lead, and almost every one involved me getting beaten up. Shenling's expression darkened, but he kept his silence, unwilling to engage further with Peiyu. I stepped aside to make a phone call. When I returned, both Peiyu and Shenling were sporting fresh bruises on their faces. My face darkened. What happened? Yisusu was tending to Peiyu's wound when she snapped angrily. Shenling started it like a madman. I turned to Shenling, whose dark eyes burned with rage as he said coldly, Peiyu, you're just jealous of me. Peiyu's face stiffened. What exactly do you have that's worth my envy? Shenling shot back. You're jealous that I have such an amazing agent. Peiyu suddenly laughed coldly. She's only fooling outsiders. Do you have any idea what shady dealings she's involved in behind the scenes? I slapped him across the face. In our past life, every time he ignored my advice and messed things up, I wanted to do just that, but I never did. Looking back, I played my part in fueling his arrogance. I sheltered him too well, never letting him see the darker side of human nature. But in this lifetime, there's still time to show him the harsh realities. Meeting his furious gaze, I issued a cold warning. Peiyu, this is the first time you've laid hands on someone under my protection. I'm returning the favor with this slap, but next time, it won't be just a slap. Peiyu's face turned ashen, his eyes blazing with silent fury. Only Yisusu kept threatening me relentlessly, demanding compensation. I tossed her my business card, told her to contact my lawyer, then took Shenling upstairs. Shenling kept her head down the whole time without saying a word to me. The elevator was just Shenling and me, the atmosphere growing increasingly tense. Shenling broke the silence first. I'm sorry, Mian, I shouldn't have fought with him. Please don't be mad, I won't do it again. Serves him right. Shenling looked up in shock. What? If he bullies you, fight back. I've got your back if things go south. Shenling froze for a long moment, then slowly curved his lips after realizing I wasn't joking. 4. I fought for Shenling's opportunity with director Zhang. Last time, I recommended the exact actor he had in mind, so he trusts me completely. After reviewing Shenling's audition, director Zhang still seemed hesitant. I knew it must be because of Peiyu. After all, Peiyu's image perfectly fits this role. Otherwise he wouldn't have been nominated for Best Newcomer. Calmly, I produced a USB drive. This is just a casual period drama video Shenling made in her spare time. No rush to decide until you've seen it. Director Zhang opened the video with skepticism, but gradually his expression shifted from indifference to shock, then to burning enthusiasm. Suddenly, he slammed the table with startling force. He's the one, Song Mian, you absolutely nailed what I've been looking for. I quietly let out a sigh of relief. Shenling and I went out for a celebratory meal before heading back to the office. The moment we stepped in, everyone was buzzing about a newcomer from our company landing the male lead supporting role in director Zhang's new film. I was shocked at how fast the news had spread. Someone asked me, Sister Mian, aren't you curious who it is? Before I could respond, they blurted out, it's Peiyu. I knew he'd be the most promising rookie in this batch. Shenling and I exchanged glances, both stunned. Just then, Yisusu walked in wearing high heels. Seeing our complicated expressions as we stood there, she deliberately announced loudly, our company's Shenling also auditioned for the male lead's best friend role. What a shame, my Peiyu got it first. The others all congratulated her. Yisusu smiled and said, "It's only because Sister Song Mian didn't choose Peiyu that I got this lucky break, don't you agree?" Sister Song, snapping out of my thoughts. I looked at her with amused interest. The production team hasn't finalized anything yet, aren't you celebrating a bit too early? Yisusu chuckled. Director Zhang is quite pleased with Peiyu, said he's perfect for the male lead's best friend role. Someone chimed in, Song Mian, you really miscalculated this time, you shouldn't have picked Shenling. That's right, Song Mian. Peiyu has what it takes to land the supporting male role. I shook my head, not him. Yisusu suddenly laughed. If not Peiyu, could it possibly be Shenling? What a coincidence, it's Shenling. The moment I finished speaking, they burst into uproarious laughter. Shenling's face darkened. Looking ready to argue with them, I stopped him and said to Yisusu, I genuinely advise you not to celebrate too soon, or you'll have a hard time cleaning up the mess later. Yisusu wouldn't listen to reason. Thanks for the heads up, she said, we're just celebrating a bit early. I shrugged and let her have her way. I thought Yisusu was just bragging around the office, but she actually spilled the beans to her fans. The fans, assuming Peiyu had the supporting male role locked down, started promoting him. On the day the Chang'an Visitor cast was officially announced, Peiyu's fans were already celebrating. Peiyu also posted on social media, hard work never betrays anyone. The comment section was flooded with congratulations for him landing the male lead's best friend role. However, in the official cast list, Peiyu was actually cast as the third male lead, while Shenling got the second male lead role. Meanwhile, the production team's official account tagged Shenling, who then reposted their Weibo post. Peiyu's fans couldn't stay silent, with some die-hard supporters still tagging the crew, convinced there'd been a mistake. Upon learning about this, Yisusu and Peiyu also reached out to the production team, urging them to correct the error. The crew, however, insisted there was no mistake. Peiyu was indeed cast as the third male lead. Yisusu and Peiyu finally panicked. How could it be Shenling? Peiyu turned pale, his usually sharp eyes now filled with confusion. As the agent, Yisusu didn't initiate damage control immediately. Instead, she told Shenling to delete the post. She called Peiyu's name several times, but got no response. Finally, she just grabbed his phone and started operating it herself. Peiyu suddenly turned to glare at me with venom in his eyes. It was you, wasn't it? I was discussing the script with Shenling when interrupted. Frowning, I asked, what? It must be you. What exactly did you do to make Shenling succeed? I thought he'd finally realized his past success wasn't solely his own doing, but then he had to go and say, it's Director Zhang, isn't it? Rumor has it you two have a special relationship, that you slept your way into this role. Am I right? White-hot rage surged through me in an instant. Peiyu, if you can't stand losing to someone more talented, just admit defeat. Spreading disgusting rumors because you're sore loser. How vile can you possibly be? In my past life, he took every rumor about me at face value, not only refusing to defend me, but even joining the opposition to mock me. The disgust in his eyes still burns vividly in my memory. Then tell me, how did Shenling land that role? She earned it fair and square. Obviously, him, he sneered, must be his skills that pleased you. That's why you'd go to such lengths to help him, am I right? Bang, Shenling kicked the chair in front of him, sending it crashing into Peiyu's knees. Peiyu stumbled back instinctively. Before he could steady himself, Shenling grabbed him by the collar and yanked him up. Got a problem with me? Fine, let's settle this like men. 5. Peiyu was already tall, but Shenling stood half a head taller when they stood side by side. Before Peiyu could react, Shenling grabbed him and dragged him away. My heart raced as I hurried after them. Despite his towering 180 centimeters frame, Peiyu couldn't even lift a 50 kilograms actress, but Shenling was different. He could effortlessly carry a 60 kilograms actress in a princess carry. In a fight, Peiyu wouldn't stand a chance against Shenling. I'm worried Peiyu might get hurt. He'd use any injury to stir up drama, and that won't end well for Shenling. By the time I chased after them, Yisusu had already intercepted the group. She threatened Shenling, if netizens find out you assaulted a coworker right after landing this role, your contract will be toast. Shenling narrowed his eyes. Shouldn't you be dealing with that online mess instead of babysitting him? It's my duty to ensure my artist's safety. Yisusu tried to pull Peiyu away, but Shenling refused to let go. During the struggle, I noticed love bites peeking from Yisusu's collar. Trailing down beneath the fabric, Shenling noticed too, scoffing, "TSK, she's the one sleeping her way to the top with her manager, yet she's dragging others into her mess." He suddenly let go without warning, turned to me and said, "I'm going to wash my hands, get rid of the bad juju." The moment Shenling released his grip, Yisusu rushed over in a panic to check on Peiyu. Peiyu's face remained stormy throughout, and upon hearing Shenling's words, he clenched his fists even tighter. "Song Mian, is this the person you signed? What else can he do besides throwing punches?" The corner of my lips curled. "As long as you'll act for me, that's enough." For some unknown reason, Peiyu's expression suddenly tensed. In my past life, I'd been humiliated before him many times. I'd handled most situations myself, except that one time when I was drunk. Peiyu was right beside me, yet he remained indifferent when others dragged me away. It was Shenling who rescued me from that man's grasp. Back then, Shenling wasn't famous yet, but he was already a fledgling celebrity. Footage of him fighting in public got leaked online, and he became the target of cyberbullying. With his already scarce acting opportunities, he completely stopped getting any roles. Back then, I confronted Peiyu, demanding to know why he'd refused to help someone in mortal danger. He looked down at me with disdain. "A public brawl would ruin my future. Besides, this isn't your first rodeo. Why should I sacrifice my prospects for you?" That was the moment I truly saw him for who he was, so callous it chilled me to the bone. From that moment on, I secretly secured opportunities for Shenling and even began preparing termination procedures with Peiyu. Tragically, before the contract could be terminated, Peiyu orchestrated my demise. 6. After that day, I didn't see Peiyu for quite some time. Regarding the role in Chang'an Guest, Yisusu personally came forward to apologize, admitting she'd misremembered. It was indeed the third male lead, though it didn't cause major damage in the end. We still lost a small portion of fans. Yisusu blamed it all on me, never missing a chance to throw shade whenever we met. It was such a trivial matter that I couldn't be bothered to stoop to her level. Before Shenling joined the team, I gave her a thorough rundown of all the do's and don'ts. He didn't listen to a word I said. Just gave me those puppy dog eyes. "Aren't you coming with me? I've got other commitments. My assistant will join you on set." The assistant was someone I'd trained meticulously, though not yet as capable as in my past life. Handling routine matters was no problem. Shenling had no choice but to drop it. Ever since filming started, Shenling's been texting me daily updates about the shoot. First scene with Peiyu was a fight sequence. That guy's skin is crazy thick. My hand went numb from slapping him, yet he didn't even blink. Second scene together, another fight. His face was still swollen from last time. I almost felt bad hitting him, almost, so I switched to the other cheek. Mianjia, Peiyu's acting chops are unreal. After 2 weeks of beating him up, he's mastered first aid protocols. Taking notes. We were filming by the lake today. My hands were sore, so the director agreed to let me use my feet instead. Well, I might have kicked a bit too hard and sent him straight into the water, but hey, I was the one who jumped in to rescue him. My video assistant forwarded this clip to me. While it's true that Shenling pulled Peiyu out of the water, he accidentally dunked Pei's head back under several times during the rescue. By the time Pei reached shore, he was barely breathing. Shenling looked refreshed and energized. I facebombed. How had I never noticed Shenling could be so petty? This tit-for-tat tension lasted until the third male lead wrapped filming. Shenling even texted me, saying his on-set life had become dull without Peiyu around. Then it suddenly occurred to me, Peiyu appears amicable with everyone, but he's got his own methods. In his previous life, when a young actor accidentally injured him during filming, he publicly forgave the man before the media, yet later, Peiyu secretly had people target that actor's family behind my back. His actions led to the guy's sister being bullied at school until she couldn't take it anymore and jumped off the rooftop. He confessed this to me himself on the day I died. That night, he drove me to the window's edge. Like a demon, he kept advancing, mentioning that girl, saying she'd chosen the same path as me when cornered with no way out. I had no idea he was pulling these stunts behind my back. I never realized there was such a viper hiding in my own circle. His magnanimous act toward Shenling. Probably just setting up some dirty scheme. I made a few calls as precautionary measures. There's still time to fix things if needed, but I never expected Peiyu to act so swiftly. 7. The next morning, my assistant's frantic call woke me. Shenling was being cyberbullied. When I opened the short video platform, my breath caught in my throat. Behind the scenes footage of Shenling and Peiyu's acting had been leaked. In the video, Shenling kept messing up take after take, while Peiyu patiently showed understanding every single time, but netizens weren't having it. Seriously, can Shenling even act? The intensity and frequency here. Someone's definitely holding a grudge. Shenling, apologize, our idol came here to act. Not to be your punching bag. How did Shenling, who can't act, manage to steal the supporting male lead role from Peiyu? One after another, these topics started trending. Hashtag Shenling backstory, hashtag Shenling's acting skills, hashtag Peiyu's professionalism, hashtag the longest day in Chang'an unexpectedly trended before wrapping production, putting the entire crew on high alert. Director Zhang was about to call me when I rang him. I asked him for Shenling's audition tape, and he asked when I'd make my move. I smiled mysteriously. Let the fire burn a little longer, it'll boost your crew's publicity. We were instantly on the same page. If Peiyu was behind this, he'd never let Shenling off easy. After enduring so many slaps, these trivial trending topics can't possibly shake Shenling. What he wants is to force Shenling out of the industry for good. Peiyu's pride wouldn't tolerate anyone outshining him. Within days, surveillance footage of Shenling confronting Peiyu in the office was leaked online. The video was muted and only showed the part where Shenling threw the punch. To uninformed netizens, Peiyu appeared like an isolated victim of bullying. Holy shit, they actually have personal beef. Poor Peiyu, bullied at the company, then bullied again on set. I can read lips. Shenling was warning Peiyu, saying they'd settle this like men. Huh, is there beef over a woman? I kept scrolling through the comments, my frown deepening with each one. I wonder how Shenling will react when he sees this. He's been quiet ever since the incident. When I asked the assistant, they said Shenling was focusing on filming without being affected by the online backlash. Either he's completely oblivious or just remarkably thick-skinned. On the third day of the escalating situation, Yisusu came to tell me the boss wanted to see me in his office. She stood outside the door with a look of eager anticipation, seeing me carrying the laptop out. Yisusu frowned. The boss didn't ask you to bring that. I've got work to report. Yisusu followed me into the elevator. With no one else around, she dropped the act. Song Mian, you and Shenling are done for this time. What's the use of being a top agent when you've picked such a hopeless loser? I kept my eyes down and my mouth shut, refusing to take her bait. Yisusu, in high spirits, pressed on. Shenling's talent can't match his position. It's only a matter of time before he crashes and burns. My advice: cut your losses now and find yourself a real star. But don't even think about poaching my AU, he's perfectly happy with his current representation. I couldn't help but glance at her. She thought I was about to say something, but I just gave her a quick look before averting my gaze and stepping out of the elevator. Yisusu's face flushed with anger. The boss made us reconcile in the office. I refused. I suggest we take legal action. Yisusu never expected this reaction from me. Staring in shock, have you lost your mind? I stated firmly. Boss, if Shenling did something wrong, I won't cover for him. By the same token, if someone falsely accuses him, we won't let that slide either. Taking legal action is the fairest way to handle this. I have no objections. Yisusu protested vehemently. No way, these are internal conflicts. Why involve the legal system? Boss, we don't need Shenling to do much. Just film an apology video to Peiyu. I chuckled. You're awfully worked up. Could it be you're the mastermind behind all this? Yisusu's face went through several shades of pale, momentarily speechless. I opened my laptop and placed it before the boss. You'll understand once you see this. The moment Peiyu's accusatory voice came through the video, Yisusu panicked. Impossible. This can't be. That surveillance footage. I cut in. You've already deleted this surveillance footage, haven't you? Too bad I got the original recording before you wiped it. After getting a second chance at life, do you really think I'd make such an amateur mistake of leaving evidence behind? The boss flew into a rage and fired Yisusu on the spot. What Yisusu didn't know was that the boss absolutely detested office politics. He knew entertainers would pull some tricks, and as long as things didn't get out of hand, he turned a blind eye. But Yisusu crossed the line by playing smart, dragging the boss into her self-orchestrated drama. As she left, Yisusu shot me a look laced with venom. No matter. The time bomb behind her was about to detonate soon anyway. She'll have her hands full by then and won't have energy to stir up trouble. 8. I had the PR team release the raw surveillance audio of Shenling's office altercation. Online public opinion instantly split into two opposing camps. Well, I'll be damned. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. OMG, Shenling's kick was so alpha, my man radiates ultimate protector vibes, but still, isn't it excessive for Shenling to bully Peiyu on set based on just a few words? Second, this bullying is unacceptable anywhere. Say no to bullying, boycott Shenling. Just an observer here. Peiyu spreading smut about women is no saint either. As a guy, I'm Team Shenling. The boss told me to handle this matter ASAP. And I promised him I'd get it done within 3 days. When I got home that night, I knew something was off the moment I stepped out of the elevator, but it was too late to turn back. Peiyu yanked me out of the elevator. The hallway reeked of cigarette smoke. God knows how many Peiyu had smoked while waiting there. He pinned me against the wall, rummaging through my bag for the keys. I shoved him away, clutching my bag as I retreated toward the elevator. What are you doing here? Peiyu's face darkened. Why are you targeting me? Targeting Susu. I laughed out of sheer frustration. Who's really targeting whom here? Song Mian, do you resent me for not choosing you? I can come back to you. Just let her go. I shook my head. It's not that I won't let her go. I've never done anything to her. You're the ones who won't leave me alone. It's you who won't let us go. Song Mian, you've always been like this, resourceful and sharp. When you set your mind against someone, no one stands a chance. But why does it always have to be me? It was like this before, and now it's the same all over again. A chill ran down my spine. He stopped hiding the fact that he's been reborn in front of me, which can only mean, the next second, he said, Song Mian, you've been reborn too, haven't you? I widened my eyes as if hearing something absurd. Reborn, are you under too much stress? I tried to pull away, but he tightened his grip on my hand. The role of the second male lead and the guest of Chang'an should be mine. How could you give it to someone else? Be good, Mian Mian, go talk to director Zhang and get me that role. Okay, I'm more suited for this role than Shenling. Last lifetime, this very role earned me a Best Newcomer nomination. You know that. I shoved him with all my might, but the strength difference was overwhelming. Just then, a large hand wedged between us, forcibly pulling Peiyu away. Looking up, I saw Shenling's broad, solid back facing me, an instant sense of security. Peiyu's eyes turned red with rage. Shenling, perfect timing. Hand over the supporting male role if you know what's good for you, or things will get ugly. Shenling stood with his back to me, obscuring his expression, but the icy edge in his low voice betrayed his fury. You've got 1 minute. After that, security arrives and you'll be charged with trespassing. Peiyu clenched his fists until his knuckles cracked. Shenling cracked his knuckles. Wanna throw down? Peiyu ultimately didn't engage with Shenling. Before leaving, he tossed out, don't celebrate too soon, this isn't over. 9. On the living room couch, I clutched my cup with lingering fear. Shenling walked around the house before saying his first words since entering. This place isn't safe, come stay at my place. I stared at him in astonishment. Shenling scratched the back of his head. What I mean is, with Peiyu's current mental state, I'm worried he might harass you. My place has decent security. Anticipating my refusal, he quickly added, don't worry, I own 2 apartments, we won't be living together. The previously tense atmosphere noticeably eased with his reassurance. I teased him, living together wouldn't be an issue. I'm older than you, who's to say I'd be the one at a disadvantage? To my surprise, Shenling corrected me with utmost seriousness. A woman must always protect herself. Had I not come today, the consequences could have been unthinkable. I can't even fake a smile anymore. Peiyu has a deeply obsessive streak. Only those who've known him long enough can see it. Shenling was right. This guy is dangerous. But then, what are you doing here? Shenling, I've wrapped up filming. With everything that's been happening lately, I didn't want any more complications. I asked director Zhang to move up all my shooting schedules. Only later did I realize how driven Shenling really was. He'd crammed 2 weeks worth of scenes into just a few days. I'm just worried Peiyu might come after me. I wouldn't be able to handle that. A whirlwind of emotions churned inside me. I declined Shenling's kindness, but at his insistence, checked into a relatively secure hotel. Shenling made sure I was settled before leaving. Little did we know, photos of Shenling and me entering the hotel together went viral the next day. Someone leaked Peiyu's audition tape for Chang'an guest, deliberately amplifying director Zhang's approving comments. A fresh wave of cyberbullying erupted. I thought Shenling had some real talent. Turns out it's just pretty privilege. Rumor has it that Shenling's agent has some special connection with director Zhang. Word is they've gotten multiple actors cast through this pipeline, if you catch my drift. Shocking. The industry's darker than I thought. Glad I never dipped my toes in these waters. Are you nuts? If they've got that kind of pull, why wouldn't Shenling land the lead role straight away? What's next? Making our award-winning actor play second fiddle to Shenling, as if he's even in the same league. The comment section was full of outrageous remarks, wildly imaginative and oddly entertaining. Just as I was engrossed in reading, a hand reached over and blocked my view. Cut back on that mindless junk. Shenling walked over with breakfast, his hair still tousled. I gasped and immediately pushed him away. At this critical moment, he still didn't bother to avoid suspicion. Shenling refused to leave, bracing against the doorframe. Are you really that afraid of being linked with me in rumors? 1 or 2 scandals are fine, but too many will ruin your career. Do you understand, Shenling? There's a way to solve this. What way? Get a steady partner, then you can come and go openly. Don't even think about it. You're just starting out and already trying to box yourself in. Why even join this industry then? Let's play. But I don't want to. Shenling, you could go so much further. There's no need to take these trivial rumors seriously. You've got the whole world ahead of you. This time, Shenling didn't respond, just fixed me with those dark, mesmerizing eyes that could make anyone lose themselves. I averted my gaze, opened my laptop, and hit publish on the Weibo post I'd drafted the night before. By the way, I posted the full footage of Shenling's audition day on short video platforms. Director Zhang's initial hesitation turning into final approval speaks volumes. Meanwhile, the production team of Chang'an Guest also released some behind-the-scenes clips of Shenling, especially that scene where Shenling kicks Peiyu into the water. The previously leaked footage was selectively edited to make Shenling appear as the bully. But when the crew released the raw, unedited video, Peiyu's fans fell silent. The complete footage showed Shenling accidentally kicking Peiyu into the lake, then diving in without hesitation to rescue him. The crew's camera angle differed from my assistant's, so no one caught Shenling's subtle intentions. Besides that, both director Zhang and I sent out cease and desist letters. The situation wasn't fully resolved until we had 2 bloggers spreading explicit rumors arrested. During those days, Peiyu completely vanished off the radar. No one could reach him. While his career wasn't completely ruined, he's definitely lost some of his former popularity. Knowing him, he's probably brewing up something big. I went through every major event from this period in my past life, but couldn't recall anything that concerned us, until I saw Yususu again. 10. She said Peiyu had offended Xiao Liqing, and now Zhao's men were holding him captive. I never imagined he'd provoke Xiao Liqing again after getting a second chance. Knowing full well he's no match for Xiao Liqing, he still went and picked a fight. No, that can't be right. Peiyu's been reborn. He couldn't possibly forget how Xiao Liqing nearly tortured him to death in their past life, yet he still took the risk to provoke Xiao Liqing. That means he has another agenda. I'm his real target. He must suspect I'm reborn just like him. In our past life, he offended Xiao Liqing and was tortured within the Xiao household until half dead. It was only when I threatened Xiao Liqing at knife point that he received timely medical treatment. How dare he assume I'd risk my life again to provoke someone who shouldn't be crossed? I turned down Yususu. Peiyu had countless ways to test me, yet he chose the most reckless approach, using Xiao Liqing. I suppose the price this time must be devastatingly high. Half a month later, Peiyu returned to the company. He'd become visibly gaunt, as if he'd shed years from his frame. Peiyu's gaze burned with bitter resentment and unwillingness. Song Mian, you've been reborn too, haven't you? Do you know what Xiao Liqing did to me? He actually found himself a man. His words trailed off mid-sentence, because Shenling emerged from my lounge, wearing pajamas. Peiyu froze completely. After what felt like an eternity, he finally spoke slowly. So you two really are together, Shenling? A filthy mind sees filth everywhere. Peiyu's expression darkened instantly, his voice cracking with barely contained rage. Who are you calling filthy? The words barely left his mouth when Shenling materialized before him. The bleary-eyed man cracked his knuckles, radiating the energy of someone ready to throw down. Peiyu was never a match for Shenling before, let alone now. His knuckles cracked audibly, yet he remained powerless against Shenling. Shenling studied him for a moment before recoiling in disgust. Did some succubus drain you dry? I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Peiyu turned pale with anger and stormed off. Shenling asked me blankly, did I say something wrong? No. You put it perfectly. Shenling moved closer. Can I still sleep in your lounge tonight? I refused with a dark expression. You'd rather crash in the lounge than go home. Shenling moved closer again. Didn't you get a new place? Not inviting me for a housewarming. I stepped back. Maybe when you win an award. Shenling's eyes lit up. You said it yourself. 11. after being cyberbullied, Shenling actually started getting more acting gigs, barely finishing one project before jumping into another. Peiyu's situation was the exact opposite. After changing agents, his new manager deliberately sidelined him, only offering low-budget web series roles, but Peiyu was too proud to stoop to web dramas, completely alienating his agent. Rumor has it he had a falling out with Yisusu and ended up crashing at the office. That day, while selecting scripts for Shenling, I suddenly heard a commotion outside. Turned out Yisusu had shown up with her family in tow. I blended into the crowd to watch the drama unfold. When her father shoved Yisusu in front of Peiyu, I finally realized she was pregnant. That prominently rounded belly looked at least 7 months along. Gone was her youthful vibrancy. She now carried herself with a lifeless heaviness. Peiyu's gaze at her was unmistakably disdainful, yet he had to keep up appearances in front of their colleagues. "Why didn't you tell me you were coming? I could have picked you up." Yisusu was about to speak when her father cut in. "Cut the crap. You got my daughter pregnant and then hid at your office. When exactly are you going to marry her?" Peiyu pressed his lips together, refusing to speak. Only I knew the truth. It wasn't that he didn't want to marry, but that he simply couldn't. He's already on Shaoliqing's radar now. What kind of fate awaits those who cross Shaoliqing? It seems he genuinely cares for Yisusu, which is why he chose not to drag her down. With teary eyes, Yisusu reached for his hand when he remained silent. "You. Didn't you promise to marry me?" Peiyu let her hold his hand. "I will marry you, but you know my current situation. Just wait a little longer until I'm more settled." "Alright." Her father had enough. "You've been saying that since my daughter got pregnant. How much longer? Either marry her now, or I'll find someone else for her." Peiyu's face tightened, a flicker of impatience visible in his eyes. "I've already said I'll marry her. Go home first. I'll come with my parents later to formally propose." Yisusu let out a relieved sigh. You will come, won't you?" Peiyu squeezed her hand and nodded. "I will." Seeing Peiyu agree, Yisusu's father added one more condition. 1 week. "You've got exactly 7 days. If you don't show up, I'll marry her off to someone else." The troublemakers left, and the crowd gradually dispersed. The moment Peiyu turned around, his eyes met mine. Whether my schadenfreude was too obvious or what. Peiyu stormed toward me. "Song me on. Are you happy seeing me like this?" I gave him a look reserved for idiots. "With all these spectators around, you're singling me out. That's some targeted hostility." "Peiyu, just wait. I won't stay down forever." I believe it. He's exactly the kind of person who never admits defeat, but he forgot. He had nothing left now. 12. That day, Peiyu received a package as usual. Upon opening it, he screamed and shoved the package away. His colleagues rushed over at the sound, and when they saw what was inside the package, their screams pierced through the entire building. I didn't join the commotion because I already knew what was inside. In her past life, Yisusu led a scandalous private life to secure resources for her artists. After she got pregnant, her father stormed into the company, convinced the baby belonged to one of her artists. The celebrity stubbornly denied being the child's father, claiming he never even touched her. He asked Yisusu to vouch for him, but she remained silent, tacitly endorsing her father's statement. Someone leaked the incident online, and the celebrity endured relentless cyberbullying for months. Eventually the online backlash died down, and Yisusu resigned without causing further trouble. Just when everyone thought the incident was over, the celebrity received a package. The package was identical to what Peiyu just received, containing a fully formed fetus. The celebrity lost their mind on the spot and jumped out the window. If I'm not mistaken, what Peiyu received is also a developed fetus, sent by Yisusu's father. Fortunately, Peiyu's rebirth experience had strengthened his mental resilience. After a brief moment of shock, he called the police. DNA testing confirmed the child wasn't Peiyu's. When the police arrived at the Yi residence, Yisusu stood there in a blood-stained white dress, still clutching the bloody knife in her hand. Her father lay motionless in a pool of blood, no longer breathing. Later, the forensic results came in. The child was the product of Susu's relationship with her own father. Upon learning the truth, Peiyu's first move wasn't to hire a lawyer for Yisusu, but to purchase PR pieces overnight in a desperate attempt to whitewash his own image. He stood before the cameras weeping, claiming he'd tried his best but still failed to prevent the tragedy. Look. He feasts on blood-stained buns without a shred of remorse, but justice exists in this world. It was revealed that Yisusu had multiple abortions for Peiyu's sake. Peiyu issued an emergency PR statement claiming the child wasn't his and he knew nothing about it. If you want to cyberbully him, show us the evidence. An hour later, photographic evidence surfaced online showing him accompanying Isuzu to an abortion clinic. Peiyu played the victim card, claiming he was merely supporting his agent through a medical procedure and didn't deserve the backlash. Since when did basic human decency become a crime? Netizens then unearthed proof of him and Isuzu spending 3 consecutive days locked in a hotel room. The exposé included a leaked video of their intimate encounter in a car. Now, Peiyu had no choice but to seethe in helpless rage. The boss had zero tolerance for scandal-tainted celebrities. Pei was swiftly terminated and slapped with massive breach of contract penalties. Whether Peiyu landed on his feet after leaving the company, I can't say, but this much I know, he'd plunged into the abyss, with no hope of ever reclaiming his former glory. 1 year later, he's always been confident, adept at leveraging his strengths and reading the room, though Shenling had acted in many productions. This marked his first theatrical release. Fortunately, it was well received, gaining him 1 million fans overnight. At the annual awards ceremony, Shenling won Best New Artist. He proved himself with his capabilities. A reporter interviewed him, asking what he wanted to do most at the moment. He stared straight into the camera and said, "I want to visit someone's place for a housewarming," sensing something unusual. The reporter quickly followed up, "Is it a guy or a girl? She's my future wife." The crowd erupted in murmurs. After the awards ceremony, I waited for him backstage. He strode over, took my hand, and pulled me toward the exit. No takebacks. We had a deal. I couldn't help but laugh. What a childish goof. The end. Story 2. I came out with my boyfriend. My sister knelt down and begged us, saying she was a strategist, and if she couldn't strategize Fong Ming, she would die. Then, "What kind of death do you like?" my boyfriend asked, and my sister was stunned. She probably thought I would, as I had done hundreds of times before, give everything up just by her pouting and playing the victim, even if it meant giving up my parents. But she didn't know, Fong Ming is not only a love fool but also a psychopath. He had long stopped caring about his life to chase after me. How could he let me give him up? 1. Fong Ming spoke in a casual tone, his narrow eyes flashed with a cold light, like a beast about to reveal its fangs at any moment. Lin Jiao's sobs were caught in her throat. She tentatively called out, "Fong Ming brother, you won't do that to, slap, what are you, who allowed you to call me like that?" Fong Ming slapped me, then turned to look at me, once again becoming the familiar obedient little dog. "Lon Lon, don't misunderstand, I don't know her." Lin Jiao was hit and staggered, with blood trickling from her lips. I watched coldly, curling my lips slightly, and reached out to hold Fong Ming's arm. "It's satisfying." Last lifetime, Lin Jiao was an orphan taken in by my parents, and they told me to take care of my younger sister and pay more attention to her, which I did. Lin Jiao used her excellent tea-making skills to make me completely lost. I willingly gave her everything, even when she took away everything that should have been mine. I still felt sorry for her. I silently moved out of my room, and I handed over my parents to her with both hands. The end result was that they protected Lin Jiao. Looking at me with disappointment, "Lin Wanwan, we don't have a daughter as wicked as you." How ridiculous. Every time Lin Jiao makes a mistake, she makes me take the blame for her. They never ask for the truth, only blame me, and I was foolish enough to believe Lin Jiao's lies, saying that love is deep, so the scolding is severe. In the end, my parents became her parents. She even went after my boyfriend, making me watch as they had sex. I will never forget her face that day. "Sister, I am the protagonist of this world, you are just a background character. It's your duty to be mine, but thanks anyway, because my system is based on burning your luck. The more you suffer, the better I get." Haha, you're really stupid. I really wish I could tear her apart. Despicable woman. My parents were as if blind, unable to see the torment she was putting me through, or perhaps they saw it but didn't want to care. A single moment of death, then opening my eyes again. I have returned to a time when nothing had happened yet. This life, I will no longer sacrifice anything for that worthless family bond, kick my previous scoundrel, then hold hands with Fong Ming. Fong Ming is the notorious Fong family group's perverted prince, known for his frenzied personality, but when we started dating, I found out he's just a complete love fool. I really love him. This time, to ignite my luck, Lin Jiao has come again, crying broken-hearted at my feet. But I just want to laugh. I have to say, she does have a delicate and fragile beauty, especially endearing, but unfortunately, I only have endless hatred for her. I can't feel any pity. Fong Ming, seeing that I hadn't answered for a long time, suddenly became flustered. Wan, believe me, she intentionally called me like that. I only have you in my heart. Do you want to see my sincerity? He really took out a dagger. I felt my eyelid twitch. The symptoms of a love-struck brain and a madman in the late stage, indeed not someone ordinary could handle. Fortunately, I'm not an ordinary person, I get dizzy from blood. I gave a disdainful glance at the dagger, and he immediately put it away. Our Wan says what? That's what I do. Does it feel good in your heart? Do you want me to kick her again? Fang Ming spoke in a relaxed tone, as if he was talking about what to have for lunch. What a great idea. However, Lin Jiao, who was on her knees, wasn't willing, jumped up quickly, crying and running. You two are all crazy. All of you are fucking crazy. Humph, that's all it takes to scare you. So fond of stealing my things, go ahead and steal more. Fang Mingyi was reluctant to see me off, wanting to pour her heart out to me. She pulled me at the entrance, not letting me go. If it weren't for me putting on a serious face, she probably wouldn't have let go. Looking at the villa in front of me, I took a deep breath. A flicker of interest appeared in my eyes. Mom and Dad, I'm back. Have you prepared to face my revenge? As soon as I stepped into the Lin family living room, a teacup flew towards me, accompanied by a shout. How dare you come back? Looking at a glance, Lin Jiao was crying pitifully in her mother's arms, while my father was full of anger. I dodged the teacup. Why don't you have any face? I looked at Lin Jiao with sarcasm. Is she still planning to pull the same trick again in this lifetime? I no longer care about family ties, but I don't mind letting everyone see her green tea face, too. How dare you speak to your father like that? Lin Qihai was so angry that he trembled and couldn't speak, while my mother, Zhou Wan, started scolding me. Her scarlet lips moved as she spoke, all about why I didn't take good care of Lin Jiao, letting her get beaten, and so on. I couldn't help but sneer. I just sat opposite them as a family of three and said, have you ever asked why she got beaten? Lin Wan, what kind of attitude is that? My mother spoke sharply. I raised an eyebrow. What, you didn't ask? Are you ashamed and angry? She's still the same as in the previous life. Whenever Lin Jiao cries, she immediately defends Lin Jiao without asking for the details. It's as if Lin Jiao were really her own daughter. What could Jiao have done wrong? Zhou Wan angrily stared at me. As her older sister, you must protect her no matter what the situation is. Haha, she's always been like this. The older sister should always give in to the younger sister. The younger sister has suffered outside, so all the good things and fun things should be given to her. As a result, everything that was mine was given to Lin Jiao, and I ended up dying. I'm not her mother. Glanced sarcastically at the mother and daughter hugging, which law says an older sister has to take the beating for her younger sister. Oh, by the way, you don't know why she got beaten, do you? I glanced at the sobbing Lin Jiao, snorted, and said, she tried to seduce my boyfriend and failed, then got taught a lesson. That's what she deserves. Your boyfriend, not married, so it doesn't count. If Jiao likes him, you should give him to Jiao. Even though I explained the situation, Zhou Wan argued passionately, as if it was my fault. I was shocked at her values. They say Fang Ming is a psychopath, but how does he compare to Zhou Wan? What she said was barely human words. Would she die if I told her to? I grabbed the teacup and threw it at Lin Jiao's face. My aim was better than Lin Qihai's, and I hit Lin Jiao right in the face, making her cry loudly and hold it. You. Zhou Wan was furious and accused Lin Qihai beside her. You just watch as Jiao gets hit, right? Why don't you stop her? So-called stopping was just met with violence. However, while he was unfastening his belt, I had already called Fang Ming. Where are you? My parents said that Lin Jiao likes you. I need to step aside. I intentionally added some sobbing to my voice, and what Fang Ming did was none of my business. Indeed, wait for me 3 minutes. Fang Ming should not have gone far yet. He drove into the Lin family's house with a fierce expression, full of red rage. Wan, 3, Wan. Are you okay? I nodded towards Lin Qihai. You saw it too. It's all my parents' idea. The belt is still in his hand. I'm really scared. Fang Ming. Lin Qihai was still in a daze. Zhou Wan and Lin Jiao were already stunned. Who has ever seen a sports car speeding in and crashing into the living room in real life? Lin Qihai could still keep a calm face, but his voice was fierce and his words were threatening. Who is this wild kid? How dare he? Wild kid, Fang Ming smiled. His naturally slender eyebrows and peach blossom eyes made him look like a demon, and when he smiled, he was even more charming. but the words he spoke were chilling. How come you don't recognize me? Let me introduce myself. I'm Fang Ming. Fang Ming's self-introduction had just ended, and Lin Qihai's face was already dark. Everyone has heard of Fang Ming's reputation, the son of the Fang family group. A hot-tempered and notorious pervert. Yes, it's you. Lin Qihai seemed to just now recognize Fang Ming's face. Fang Ming checked himself again, making sure there were no wounds on me, then slowly got up and looked at Lin Qihai. Were you about to hit Wan? He turned around and dialed a phone call. Dad, get the compensation ready. I'm about to do something big. Hiss, I've never seen someone so brazen before, but I really like it. Zhou Wan and Lin Jiao screamed in fear. Fang Ming, when he went crazy, was truly fearless and would act without hesitation. His eyes were bloodshot, and he approached with a killing intent. Lin Qihai also screamed in fear. Wait, I have something to say. It's all a misunderstanding. I didn't force Lin Wanwan to do anything. We admit the two of you are a couple. Fang Ming stopped in his tracks. He tilted his head, dazedly looking at me. Wanwan, should we still kill him? Kill what? Kill? Killing people is illegal. Making them run away in fear is enough for me to savor for a long time. I get dizzy from blood. Fang Ming quickly withdrew his hand and sat down beside me obediently. Then what do you want to do? How about directly making the Lin family go bankrupt? This guy may be crazy, but his hair is thicker than the waist of the Lin family. I hesitated. Go bankrupt? They actually want to break us up, to separate the two of us. Then let them go and pick up the scraps. As soon as the word separate was mentioned, Fang Ming bristled, seeing him actually call someone to bring down Lin's company. Lin Qihai cried, I'm afraid, I wish you two to be together for all eternity. I didn't say a word, and looked at Zhou Wan and Lin Jiao meaningfully. Lin Qihai indeed didn't disappoint me. Because of my concern for the company, my intention was for the two of them to give me assurances, but he took it a step further, and slapped the mother and daughter hard, drawing blood from their mouths. I guarantee I will keep a close eye on the two of them. The mother and daughter didn't dare to cry. I let out a light sigh and said lazily, all right, since your sincerity is so full, then let's just go with that for now. With Fang Ming's intimidation, they dare not act recklessly. Lin Qihai visibly relaxed, but he didn't know I had gone mad too. When sending Fang Ming off, I smiled and said, promise me, if I die in the Lin family, you'll kill them to avenge me. Okay, they dare to harm you, not to mention dying. Even if you got hurt, I would make them pay with their lives. Fang Ming was indeed the most suitable person for me. I gave him a sweet kiss, and he left in a satisfied manner in his broken-down sports car. As I turned around, I saw the terrified Lin family. Their eyes seemed to be saying, why haven't you left yet? I laughed, showing my white teeth. Didn't you guys ever see me before? This life, I will make sure you only see me. Where do you think you're going? Let's chat. The Lin family wanted to leave, but I lazily spoke up. Zhou Wan still wanted to act like a mother in front of me, and she scolded me, you're going too far. Oh, I looked at Lin Qihai. He bit his lip and without hesitation slapped Zhou Wan. Zhou Wan cried after being hit, and scolded me for being heartless, saying I should have been drowned at birth. I just took out my earplug and listened. Mr. Lin, you're really annoying, it's just too noisy. She once unhesitatingly offered her most filial and obedient daughter to Lin Jiao, and now she still expects me to be obedient. Lin Qihai remained silent, then gave another slap. Zhou Wan finally fell silent. I gave her a cold glance, my eyes landing on Lin Jiao. Give back my room, take back everything I gave you and return it to me. From childhood, Lin Jiao has always liked my things, and I couldn't refuse. On one hand, I felt really sorry for this girl, and on the other hand, Zhou Wan was doing everything she could to make me step down. She usually criticized me to the point of being worthless. She has high expectations of me, but never asked such things from Lin Jiao. If I wanted something from Lin Jiao, that would be me being shameless. Even wanting my sister's things. Lin Jiao was crying and went to move things. That was originally my room, but Lin Jiao said she was uncomfortable living there, and said she was really envious of the sister being able to live in a spacious and comfortable room. So Zhou Wan switched our rooms. Actually, I was quite confused at that time. If Lin Jiao was uncomfortable living in that room, did I really feel comfortable? Today, I really feel comfortable. Zhou Wan was still fighting and crying with Lin Qihai. You let her act like this, not treating me as a person. Lin Qihai, you said you love me the most, but you hit me for her. I can't go on with you anymore. They were fighting downstairs, and I stood in the third-floor corridor openly eavesdropping. confused all the way. Is Zhou Wan in the late stage of insanity? What's that supposed to mean? Could it be that I was adopted? I kept a watchful eye. When no one was looking, I went to the master bedroom and found the hair of Lin Qihai and Zhou Wan, and took them for a paternity test. When I came back, the room had already been cleaned up. Lin Jiao's eyes were swollen from crying. Sister, you were supposed to stay in my room. Now, stop. I laughed coldly. This is my room in the first place. Aren't you an orphan? Then why do you really think this is your home? Lin Jiao's face suddenly turned pale, and she looked at Zhou Wan with a pitiful expression. But I don't know what Lin Qihai told her. She didn't speak up for Lin Jiao as she used to, despite her obvious resentment. Oh right. I'm used to living in my own room, so this one can just stay empty. The room has been tidied up, but I just don't want to move in. Glancing at Lin Jiao and Zhou Wan who were stunned, I felt much better and went back to my room. I'm just playing around, making them both angry. 5. The atmosphere in the Lin family became strange. Lin Qihai probably warned Zhou Wan and Lin Jiao, and the two of them started avoiding me, not speaking a word to me. But this is so boring, isn't it? Playing games should be lively and fun, so I started ordering them around. Lin Jiao, I want some water. Mrs. Lin, I want some fruit. Within 3 seconds, they glared at me, but none of them dared to argue, and quickly brought the things to my hand. But this isn't enough. Lin Jiao, your new makeup looks nice, give it to me. I said it confidently, and she turned red with anger, but after being glared at by Lin Qihai, she still obediently gave it to me. I flipped through it carelessly and threw it into the trash. It's not that great after all. Lin Wanwan, you're going too far. She was so angry that her eyes welled up. I raised my eyebrows in surprise and said, you used to throw my things like that before. How come I only threw a box of cosmetics at you, and you can't take it? How come you didn't think about the cycle of fate before? Lin Jiao stopped crying and sniffled into Zhou Wan's arms. You hold a grudge over every little thing. Zhou Wan stared at me coldly and said, Jiao Jiao used your things, that's your fortune. Are you still holding a grudge against her? What the hell? What kind of logic is that? Wan, don't say things too far. Lin Qihai rarely said a word to her, then turned back and spoke earnestly. Wan, we are still a family. You've beaten her, and you've vented your anger. From now on, we can be back to normal. Tell Fangming to stop staring at our company. Okay, I laughed slyly. You gave Lin Jiao shares, right? I want some too. Once it's my own company, Fangming certainly won't keep an eye on it. Would the Fang family miss this amount of money? Zhou Wan immediately spoke out in opposition. This money given to you is just adding to the Fang family's wealth. It would be better to leave it for Lin Jiao. Lin Jiao. She only recognizes Lin Jiao in her heart, doesn't she? Does Lin Jiao not get married if you give her shares? Isn't it also taking them to someone else's home? I scolded back with a cold face. If you don't want to give it, that's fine, I don't care anyway. I pretended to call Fangming, but if I can't get it, no one else will either. Here, before the phone call was even made, Lin Qihai agreed. There seemed to be a hint of guilt in his eyes. I should have given you the shares all along. Lin Qihai, Zhou Wan shouted angrily. You promised me you would leave Lincher to Jiao Jiao. Why are you favoring Lin Wanwan again? Me? Does she have some misunderstanding about favoritism? Considering Lin Qihai's actions over the years, can that even be called favoritism towards me? 6. Lin Qihai was always obedient to Zhou Wan. For these years, whatever attitude Zhou Wan had towards me, he treated me the same way, never questioning the reasons or right and wrong. So I've gotten used to being bullied by my real mom, and not being able to seek help from my real dad. But today, he defied Zhou Wan for the first time. At first, he said that I and Lin Jiao would each hold half of the Lin family's shares, but Zhou Wan didn't agree, so he made me and Lin Jiao each hold 20%. Even with this fair arrangement, Zhou Wan still had a big fight with Lin Qihai. I'm just confused. Is she protecting Lin Jiao too much? Are they actually the real mother and daughter? The previous test results have come back, and I really am their biological child, but do I look like one? I secretly had Lin Jiao and my parents tested again. The results came back, which was unexpected. Lin Jiao is Zhou Wan's biological daughter, but has no blood relation with Lin Qihai, so Lin Qihai is basically a stepfather. He should know, right? There are too many mysteries, so I hired a private detective to investigate Zhou Wan's affairs. When I got home, Lin Jiao came to my door. She started crying to me right away. Sister, please save me. I am the protagonist of this world. If I can't get your boyfriend, I will die. What the hell? Do you think I'm stupid? Seeing her like this, It's because I've been too comfortable lately, and she's getting desperate because she can't benefit from my luck anymore. So sad. I coldly looked at her and said, then go find Feng Ming yourself. Why are you coming to me? I glanced at her and laughed. Do you really think I'm generous enough to get your boyfriend drunk and send him to your bed? Can you even be worthy? Feng Ming is indeed a psychopath, but he is very good to me. As long as he doesn't become that dead scoundrel from last time and climb into Lin Jiao's bed, I will never give up on him. Obstinately stubborn. It's not working. Lin Jiao became angry. I am the protagonist of this world. You, such a background character, must listen to me. Is that so? Then try it yourself. Must do it. She really thinks she's the boss of the world. The fact proves that she has no power to control people's hearts, only able to look with red eyes full of hatred. Lin Wanwan, if you dare to oppose the protagonist, you will face the consequences. Once I have conquered Feng Ming, I'll tell him to return all the humiliations you have made me suffer tenfold. Oh my. I'm so scared. He looked at her with contempt, then waved his phone that he had secretly called. Feng Ming, did you hear that? We can't get along anymore. Here, I wish you and Lin Jiao a lifetime of happiness. I'll kill her. A man's angry voice came out of the phone. Give me the location. Phew, I like it when it's straightforward. But Lin Jiao turned pale and rushed out of my room in a panic. I scolded Feng Ming. You scared her away by being so aggressive. Why didn't you slap her face like last time? It would have been fine to kick her around until she's almost dead. We are civilized people. 7. Lin Jiao no longer dares to mention the guidebook thing with me, but she started to secretly and unintentionally try to get close to Feng Ming. Since Feng Ming had a fit at the Lin family once, he has become a regular guest at the Lin family, often coming to see me. Lin Qihai and Zhou Wan didn't dare to stop him. Lin Jiao thus found an opportunity, sitting next to him or deliberately tripping to try to get into his arms, but every time, Feng Ming would kick her away rudely. This love-struck old man even came to complain to me. Wan, she's so annoying. Can you move out? I'll let you spend all my money, wherever you want to live, just don't live with that fangirl. Lin Jiao just happened to come over with some fruits. His face froze. I couldn't help but laugh. She's my source of happiness. If I move out, what's the point? Whatever you say. Feng Ming was very obedient, carefully peeling and feeding me grapes, while Lin Jiao smiled nervously. Feng Shao, I advise you not to even think about it. Feng Ming didn't even lift his eyes. He took a tissue to carefully wipe my lips, completely ignoring Lin Jiao. I curled my lips and gave Feng Ming a kiss. Well done. Compared to that dead jerk, he is just a role model for male virtue. But I didn't expect that when I was shopping with Feng Ming, I would run into Lin Jiao and Zhao Mingjie. The two of them came out of the luxury store holding hands. When they saw me and Feng Ming, they both clearly froze for a moment. Feng Shao, sister, you said yesterday you wanted to chase Feng Ming, and today you're holding someone else's hand. I calmly glanced at Zhao Mingjie. Looking at that jerk really hurts my eyes. In the past life, he chased me relentlessly, and once he had me, he rolled in bed with Lin Jiao. In this life, the two of them are still together, and they truly deserve to be called true love. Lin Jiao's words left her speechless, and she turned red with anger. I smiled calmly. It's just that her taste is not very good. Even if she can't seduce my boyfriend, she should find someone who looks good on camera. What's wrong with being a rich kid? His family is even worse than the Lin family, let alone the Feng family. Wan, are you praising me? Feng Ming ignored the two of them. His peach blossom eyes focused on me, sparkling as if filled with stars. I smiled and nodded, then gave him a kiss. Of course, good men are all coaxed out of by being spoiled. The crazy young master was like he had eaten honey, his eyebrows and corners of his eyes full of suppressed smiles. He waved his hand and said, Wan, I'll pay for all your expenses today. He set up the stage, so I naturally had to sing well on this stage, not a private room. But I bought the most expensive bags in the store that Lin Jiao just came out of, and smiled at her. Sister, did your boyfriend buy you such nice bags? Lin Jiao and Zhao Mingjie were both flustered. The person surnamed Zhao was even shameless. Lin Wanwan, I didn't expect you to still be a gold digger. Humph, such a fresh logic. I laughed. So, if you're poor, you're right, you couldn't afford such an expensive bag for Lin Jiao, making her lose face in front of me. And then you criticize me for being materialistic. Not having money is not having money. Why pretend to be a big wolf? Moreover, Feng Ming was also unhappy with what he heard. What do you mean by materialistic? All my money is earned for Wan to spend. and the more she spends, the happier I am. Listen, such a level of ideological awareness, which woman wouldn't love? If it weren't for Zhao Mingjia's persistent chasing in my previous life, and Fang Ming's high standards, I would definitely have taken him first. Sister, when dating a boyfriend, you must keep your eyes wide open and don't mistake a scumbag for a treasure, I sneered and walked away confidently with Fang Ming, but we hadn't gone far when I heard Lin Jiao and Zhao Mingjia arguing. I turned around to look and just saw Zhao Mingjia slap Lin Jiao across the face, then walk away angrily. Oh, Lin Jiao isn't the main character of the world. How come she's now so down and out that she can't even handle a little lapdog? Humph, without my luck, she's really just a background character. 8. I haven't forgotten Zhao Mingjia's disgusting actions from last time. Not following male virtue deserves to be punished. Fang Ming, I hate Zhao Mingjia. Think of a way to ask his whole family to collect trash. I don't have a way to trouble Zhao Mingjia, but Fang Ming can just take action. Leave it to me. He agreed and kindly continued shopping with me. He was nice to me, and I also bought quite a few things for him. Of course, he insisted on paying. Even so, he was very happy. That shows that Wanwan has me in her heart. He carefully put everything away, and I teased him. Are you trying to seduce yourself? It was all his money. If it can make Wanwan love me a little more, any way of seducing is okay. Under the night, his eyes held starlight, too beautiful. I couldn't help but stand on my toes and kiss him. I love you so much. Reincarnation was an unexpected thing. Even now, I still feel grateful to heaven for bringing Fang Ming into my life. I love you more, he mumbled, wrapping his arms tightly around my waist and deepening the kiss. After a long time, he finally let go of me reluctantly. Lon, I really want to hide you, so that no one can take you away from me. As long as you don't leave, I won't abandon you. I hugged him tightly. I used to think sweet words were annoying, but when love is at its peak, it seems only sweet words can truly express my heart. It just came out naturally and smoothly. Let me carry you home, he suddenly spoke, and actually crouched down. I laughed. There's still a long way to go. What if you get tired? Even if I stop and start, I can still carry you home, he insisted. So I had no choice but to get on his back. You're too light. Fang Ming carried me effortlessly, but his tone was very serious. Wanwan, is the Lin family not treating you well? Why do you say that? They wanted to hit you, and they made you thin by starving you. I was on Fang Ming's back, watching the neon lights by the road waver, listening to his words, and I smiled. I guess so. In my memory, Zhou Wan never smiled at me, always looking critical and hostile. If it weren't for the DNA test, I would have doubted whether we had an unbreakable hatred. Of course, I never expected that Lin Jiao was also her biological daughter. They are both related, so it makes sense that she would care for Lin Jiao. But why? She only cares for Lin Jiao. I told Fang Ming about the DNA test, and he was a bit surprised. Half-siblings, infidelity during marriage. The wording is precise. I nodded. I don't know if Lin Qihai knew about this. I only remember that it was the two of them who brought Lin Jiao home together. They even acted as if it were a big deal, saying that they adopted Lin Jiao for me, that Lin Jiao could protect me from disasters, but it was me who ended up being killed. Also, who is Lin Jiao's biological father? The private detective hasn't had an answer yet. I don't know where they've gotten to. Fang Ming paused for a moment. I'll have someone check. That would be very good. The night breeze was gentle. I lay on Fang Ming's back, chatting with him lazily. He carried me, walking firmly towards home. With him here, I feel safe. 9. When I woke up, the morning light was faint. There was a warm, big pillow beside me, and I couldn't help but snuggle into his arms. He let out a low groan and tightened his grip around my waist. I can't sleep anymore, I mumbled, wriggling like a caterpillar in his arms. I don't know how I fell asleep last night. Anyway, this morning when I woke up, I not only returned to Lin's room, but he was also in my bed. Lon, don't move. His groan became deeper, and the hand around my waist tightened even more. It seemed as if he wanted to merge me into his blood. I'm afraid you'll regret it. A passionate kiss landed on my forehead, and those flirtatious eyes, which didn't need to smile, stared at me intently, as if holding back something. I blinked. But you were in my room last night. Fang Ming thought I didn't like it, and lowered his eyes with guilt, apologizing. I'm sorry. After carrying you back to your room last night, I just fell asleep from exhaustion. And then, I kissed his lips, swallowing his apology. Fool, let others say whatever they want. We don't need to care about others' opinions. When the lightning and fire collided, he was drenched in sweat, but he still asked me, Lon Lon, are you sure it's okay? I just want to ask, did you really carry me home step by step last night? Yes. I want to carry you for a lifetime, a man who is erratic and unpredictable in public, but a pure-hearted boy in front of me, with dark, peach-like eyes filled with a bit of shyness. I smiled and moved towards him. He is a man known for his decisive and efficient business style, hailed as a business genius. He is the so-called madman who, without considering his own safety, drove into the Lin family's territory just to reach me as quickly as possible. He is the one who would spend a fortune for me. The one who can tie my shoes, feed me, and carry me home step by step, a tender lover. If such a man isn't worth loving, then what is love in this world? I slept with Fong Ming until noon. He was extremely gentle with me, helped me get dressed and washed up, then carried me downstairs. I teased him, are you going to keep me on your back, making me rely on you for the rest of my life? If I could, I really would. He laughed softly and shook his head. But the facts show that even if you gave me the chance, my own physical condition wouldn't allow it. His awareness is quite clear. We chatted and laughed as we went downstairs, and he finally put me down on the living room sofa. Zhou Wan frowned and scolded, what kind of example is this? Do you want to pick up trash? I no longer had any expectations for her, and I coldly retorted, only to see her glaring at me. Lin Qihai then pulled her slightly. This expression made me extremely curious. Does Lin Qihai know about Lin Jiao's situation? I'll go make you breakfast. Fong Ming ignored them and went to the kitchen on his own. I pretended not to see Lin Jiao following me. She had been rejected so many times, yet she still didn't give up. Within 2 minutes, Lin Jiao fled in a panic. Fong Ming chased out, and his affectionate peach-shaped eyes were now as sharp and cold as blades. I'll let you die, Lin Jiao cried in fear. She ran to Zhou Wan's side, and I stopped Fong Ming. When I asked, I found out that Lin Jiao had actually tried to hug him from behind, which made him want to hit her. Wan, she touched my waist. My crazy boss was extremely upset. I grabbed a fruit tray and threw it at Lin Jiao. She looked terrified, while I only felt contempt and scorn. Shameless thing, with such despicable behavior. Does she also deserve to be the main character of the world? I'm dying laughing. 10. I took Fong Ming away. I took him to the hotel to take a good shower, and only then did he dare to be upset and hold me. Wan, you don't despise me anymore, do you? I never despised him. It's just that a well-behaved child was touched by a dirty hand, and I couldn't stand it without washing. No, I wrapped my arms around his slim waist. He did better than many people. Wan, in the low, breathing sound, there was a tempting allure. It had been a long time since he satisfied his craving. He went to work, and I, remembering Lin Qihai's promise of shares, also went to Lin's company. I didn't work at Lin's company, and before, the Lin family didn't allow me to go there, so the receptionist wouldn't let me go up the stairs. Since I couldn't go up, I called Lin Qihai. Lon, I'm sorry. He seemed very tired. You already got the shares, so I thought. So he once again favored Lin Jiao. I found it amusing. But I also suddenly understood. Lin Qihai, you know Lin Jiao is Zhou Wan's biological daughter. Without that relationship, Lin Qihai wouldn't have so easily handed over the company, nor would he have allowed Zhou Wan to favor Lin Jiao. He really has deep feelings for Zhou Wan, deep enough that even I, his real daughter with Zhou Wan, am not as important as his stepdaughter. Wan, this is adult matters, don't interfere. Maybe he hit a sensitive spot. He became irritable, but I hung up the phone, not wanting to hear his words that only hurt me. I have also witnessed a beautiful love. But even if I try to put myself in his shoes, I can't do what Lin Qihai did, to bully his own child for the woman he loves deeply. This is really a collapse of my values, beyond common understanding. Lin Jiao came in a furious manner. Lin Wan, the Lin family now belongs to me. You leave immediately, she spoke as if dismissing a cat or a dog, and after finishing her words, she coldly ordered the security guards to kick me out. I turned around and slapped him. Yours, Lin Jiao. Think carefully before you speak. Since Lin Qihai loved Zhou Wan to the point of losing his sense, I would have to take matters into my own hands. The hall exploded. How could you hit me? Who is this crazy woman? Call the police immediately. People rushed over. And I even saw Zhao Mingjie stepping into the hall, but I just coldly curled my lips. I really am a madwoman. How could someone raised in such an environment not be crazy? It's you again. Zhao Mingjie rushed over to protect Lin Jiao and spoke to me in an angry tone. I've long heard that you like to bully Jiao, and it's indeed true. What the hell does he know? I didn't hold back and beat him as well. The crowd erupted again. And some security guards rushed over to grab me. I glanced at them and said, "Do you all have dog eyes? Lin Jiao is the one who usurped the nest, who dares to touch me." Lin Jiao was brought into the Lin family by Zhou Wan. She was never a member of the Lin family. The security guards were at a loss and called the police, but Zhao Mingjie was different. He pointed at my nose, as if he hadn't beaten Lin Jiao in the luxury store back then. "You scum. How dare you talk to our Lin Jiao like that? You guys Lin Jiao, back then. You couldn't come up with money to buy things, so you took your anger out on Lin Jiao." I laughed. "Now that your family is bankrupt, you want to attach yourself to the Lin family's leg. It's you." Zhao Mingjie was furious. "It's you who made the Zhao family collapse." He's not that stupid after all." I played with my phone. "Maybe I should call Fang Ming. I don't want the Lin family anymore. After all, I've already sold my shares at the peak and cashed out. Let them all go scavenge for scraps, which would also be a favor to their love. I just want fairness. If there's none, then don't blame me for turning the table and breaking the deal." 11. Zhao Mingjie looked very angry. He stared at me with a sinister look and said, "Lin Wanjian, I only said a few words to you, and you already sent people to deal with me. Aren't you all saying I'm a crazy woman?" I didn't deny it, and smiled at him. Crazy people don't act according to reason. The grudges from my past life haven't been settled yet, and he's already rushing to provoke me. If he's determined to die, then I'll grant his wish. "Even if you ruin Zhao's family, you can't destroy Lin's company." Lin Jiao was shouting at me while calling Lin Qihai. "You sold the shares of Lin's company. Lin's bankruptcy is bound to happen. Why not sell it before it's all gone?" I asked Lin Qihai for shares. She probably wouldn't really think the company is mine. If Fang Ming didn't let Lin's go bankrupt, would she? Laughed to death. "My purpose of reincarnation is to let these people suffer day and night." After I finished speaking, Lin Jiao's face turned pale. I shrugged indifferently. "I'm not afraid of picking up trash. My life is worthless. It should have been ashes last time. Since heaven didn't let me die, it gave me another chance. Why should I care about my life? I just want them to get their comeuppance." While speaking, Fang Ming and the police arrived at Lin's at the same time, followed by Lin Qihai in a hurry. I proactively confessed to the police. "I'm sorry, they insulted me so much that I lost my temper and slapped them both. It's just a small matter." "That's not just 2 slaps. Zhao Mingjie's face was red and blue, almost crying. "She sent people to destroy my business, and it led to my family's bankruptcy. You should arrest her and put her in jail." Fang Ming lightly laughed, his eyes sharp and cold. "It's just business competition. You just weren't good enough. How come you can't handle business warfare, and you still want to accuse me?" Oh, I like what Fang Ming said. It was just to let Zhao Mingjie know the truth, but he was so angry he could do nothing about it. "It's just healthy business competition, and it's not illegal." Zhao Mingjie's face turned ashen, staggering away in a daze. No one mentioned arresting anyone again, and the police left. Lin Qihai looked at me with a sorrowful expression. Wan, are you really going to make it a fight to the death?" "No." I shook my head. Before he could be happy, he mocked. "It's you people who will die. The net won't break, but we are your relatives." "That's even more ridiculous," I sneered. "Lin Qihai, ask yourself, did you ever regard me as your daughter? You were not kind, so I won't be either. I've already sent someone to handle it." I looked at Fang Ming, and Fang Ming understood. Gently saying, he wrapped his big hand around my waist, not letting go for a moment. The phone call came quickly. "The mall is a war without gunshots. Once attacked, it will also be a bloodbath." After Lin Qihai answered the phone, he slumped into the chair, and Lin Jiao guessed the outcome, angrily rushing forward to tear at me. But as soon as she got close, she was kicked away by Fang Ming. "Lin Wanan, you will get your comeuppance." She fell to the ground, screaming in agony. Her appearance like that of a ghost. I laughed lightly. "Lin Jiao, it seems your strategy mission can't be completed, because my sister will live a happy life." 12. The Lin family is bankrupt. Many employees of the Lin family have lost their jobs. Fortunately, I used the money from selling 20% of the Lin family's shares to invest in my friend's business, which also created many job positions. Fang Ming's business has been growing bigger and bigger every day, and they are constantly hiring. In this way, it has relieved a lot of people's unemployment pressure. Zhou Wan called me a money waster and a troublemaker, and even wanted to kill me, but she didn't have the strength to do so. I went home, took what I needed, and moved to my own small apartment to live a quiet life. Fang Ming insisted on living with me. I laughed at him. "What about your big villa and large flat? Without you, they are just useless places." He didn't think the small apartment would lower his status. With my consent, he happily moved in, and the kitchen became his territory. I also received the news: the Zhao family went bankrupt and moved overseas, saying they would never come back. It was said that before moving, Zhao Mingjie was dragged into a dark alley with a sack over his head and beaten up badly, even losing his teeth. As for the Lin family, they have already entered the stage of bankruptcy liquidation. Zhou Wan keeps calling me and scolding me, and I'm just bored. So I specifically put it on speakerphone to enjoy her flustered look. Sometimes I push back at her a bit, just for the fun of it, but I didn't expect that Lin Jiao would twist the facts and post everything online. In an instant, not only did netizens curse me, but Fang Ming was also dragged into the hot search. And the stock of Fang's group even plummeted sharply. You're really a bother, and you've even dragged me into it. I was lying on the lazy sofa in the balcony scrolling through the hot search, while Fang Ming was watering the flowers I had kept. He looked at me and smiled. I like being bothered by you. Which one are you? I scolded him, and he laughed. Only when you bother me can I show my importance to you, otherwise, what's the difference between us and strangers, huh? That actually makes sense. I read the hot search to him, and then said, Dear Mr. Fang, what should we do now? Hit her face. Fang Ming leaned in for a quick kiss. I've already sent people to find evidence of Lin family's mistreatment of you, and the conclusion will come soon. Having a boyfriend with superpowers is so convenient. Everything is worry-free. The evidence was collected smoothly. For these years, Lin Jiao has often taken things from me. And the fact that the Lin family treated me harshly is known to all friends and relatives. Once the evidence was posted, the public opinion quickly changed. Lin Jiao called me, but she was crying and shouting to Fang Ming, Lin Wanwan is just a pawn. The two of us are the perfect match. I raised an eyebrow. Fool, after so long, you still haven't realized the situation. What are you? In my world, Lin Wannan is the only female lead, the woman I truly admire. Fang Ming spoke back very smoothly. Which I really agree with. However, Lin Jiao screamed, do you understand anything? She's using you to deal with the Lin family. She doesn't really like you, is that so? I'm willing. I thought Fang Ming would be angry, but after he spoke back to Lin Jiao, he just looked at me with a sad expression. I smiled and kissed his lips. Believe her or believe me, of course I love you. I initially approached him to deal with the Lin family. But falling in love with him while dealing with the Lin family is not illegal. I knew it. He showed a little pride, ignoring everyone around us as he displayed our love. Lin Jiao was calling from my phone, and I hung up the call when I had a chance, focusing on being with him in a cozy way. 13. After the storm, I and Fang Ming got our marriage license. He held a grand wedding, and I became the most beautiful and happiest bride. The major media live-streamed the wedding. Lin Jiao also wanted to come, but she was driven away. She was furious, but she couldn't get close to me. She could only watch me be happy. The Lin family has completely gone bankrupt. I heard she now lives in a small, run-down apartment, working as a 996 salary slave. Life has worn away her glossy appearance, and put her in heavy chains. Later, there would be a time when she would suffer. Later, I finally got the report about the truth of the Lin family. It turned out that Lin Qihai was just a phoenix boy as well. He had once been crazy about Zhou Wan, and half of it was because he was after Zhou Wan's company. Once drunk, he forced himself on her, and that's how I came to be. At that time, Zhou Wan already had a boyfriend she deeply loved, and was about to get engaged. I will never forget her face that day, but my birth did not ease their relationship. Instead, Zhou Wan also came to hate me. Later, she disappeared for more than a year. At that time I was too young to remember, but after she came back, her relationship with Lin Qihai improved, and later, Lin Jiao was born. Lin Jiao was the child of her and the man she loved, and also the lubricant between Lin Qihai and her. Lin Jiao's biological father died early, and Zhou Wan forced Lin Qihai to be good to Lin Jiao, commanding him to give all his paternal love to Lin Jiao, and Lin Qihai did as he was told. Thus, the Zhou family became the Lin family. So Lin Qihai was never about love, but about money. Upon reading this, I was trembling with hatred all over. Fang Ming tightly embraced me. Lon Lon, don't get excited, you still have me, you still have me. I used to hate them, I smiled, but now, they are nothing. Lin Qihai is selfish and greedy, and Zhou Wan is cruel and disgusting. They really are a perfect match. I promise, the Lin family will live in regret from now on. A low, gentle voice comforted me, and a drop of water fell on my forehead. Lon Lon, I will be with you. I held Fong Ming tightly. My birth was a mistake, but I won't accept my fate. I will never punish myself with their mistakes. Fong Ming, let's have a child. I looked into his eyes seriously. A child of our own, okay. He kissed down, passionately and devoutly. I closed my eyes, accepting his gentle and deep love, and smiled slightly. The Lin family owes me, and I have settled the account with them. From now on, I want to live more brilliantly and happily. Will be with the person who loves me. Accompany each other until old age.